little
All right.
oh, are we live?
Yeah, I think right now, I think we're on, baby.
Oh, I had some stuff going in the background there.
All right. So, ladies and gents,
Ladies and guys and dolls.
all the peoples, welcome to the Old Man Gaming Hour,
We're still
where we're finally covering the last 5 faction focus articles put out by G-Dub for the remaining armies they didn't cover yet. Spoiler alert. Beast of Chaos and Bone Splitters are not getting a faction focus article. So
weird.
Hopefully you're not holding out for one of those two. So, on the docket, we have Seraphon. Oh shoot, now I forget the other one.
Sylvaneth, Khorne.
Oh, Sylvaneth, Khorne, Iron Jaws, and Slaves of Darkness. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, hotness. All my armies.
That was weird. Had an earwig just fall on me.
Oh.
Fantastic. All right. But before we get into the main topic, as always, we're going to get through a little bit of pre-show things to cover. So, Josh, why don't you tell me what you did outside of Warhammer this week? I know it's only been basically like 4 days since we did our last show, but
yeah, but I've done a lot. Actually, me and Ethan have done some stuff. We went to some farmers market bullshit in Toledo. It was a Twilight farmers market thing, and it was interesting. We went with my mom and dad and then had dinner. It was kind of nice. I've also purchased and built about 15 more superhero models.
all right.
Marvel Protocol, and we've played a bunch of games of that. And then today I picked up some more Slaves to Darkness.
Awesome.
So yeah. So that was, I mean, and then the usual. I think we threw some. We played a little cornhole today. Me and E went out and threw around the old sacks. And just hung out. What about you? What you got going on?
Oh, well, I did another few days of manual labor around the house.
I love that.
Yeah. I did. I'm sure you love it for me. Yep. But yeah, we had a pretty bad storm up here a handful of months ago that knocked part of my tree down in the backyard. So I kind of let it be there and dry out and stuff and die. Finally cut that up and hauled it down to my parents' house so they can get burnt and returned to the earth. Yeah. I mean, like, just more yard work, really. Other than that, what else did we do? Oh, yeah, played another doubleheader today, so that was fantastic. Sweat should be my middle name these last couple weeks, because boy, it's been like endless.
It's getting hot.
Yeah, it's been what, in the 90s pretty much all week.
A lot of the days, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been pretty rough on me, man. I'm not gonna lie. But sweating means I'm losing poundage, I guess. I haven't really weighed myself, but I'm assuming I'm down. If I'm not down, I don't know what something's wrong.
There you go.
But yeah, other than that, not too much outside of Warhammer stuff. I know this upcoming week's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be into the following week, I'm guessing, at someday, whenever we can iron that out. But we're going up north, doing the whole canoe trip weekend.
Okay.
So that's where I'll be this weekend, taking a hefty crew up there. I can't remember how many people we had, but it was, I don't know, 30 between, all the family members and all the kids bringing friends and shit like that. So that should be a good time.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah, pretty cool. And you're going to be working again starting in a few days, probably?
Yeah. I leave tomorrow for Lansing, and then I'm on for 8. So
Fantastic.
whatever day you're available, we'll be doing it live from the Ohana room.
Very good. Okay, so, you did say you bought another Demon Prince, right?
Another Demon Prince, a couple of boxes of Endless Spells, the Slaves to Darkness ones, and the DOK, and then also that new, not that new, but not actually new character from OBR. So each can play with that if it makes his cut.
Very good. You get any of that stuff worked up and built?
No, didn't. Just got it today. Could maybe tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to work on that or if I'm going to continue work on the old bases for the
cities bases.
Yep. I always get these ideas that I'm going to do these special bases, and then I start them, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This takes forever.
Well, I mean, that's part of making stuff look cool.
Stacks of the rubber part done. Now I just got to do the brown gravel on the rest of these, and then I'll be ready to roll. I think everything I'll have built should have a base then at this point. And I don't know if it'll be enough points for an army yet, but
well, that's until like a week or two or whatever we're gonna get the army PDFs released, and then you'll go, shit. Now I have to build this other list, and I need to build more bases and more dudes.
Well, I mean, that's not nearly all that I have.
No, I'm just saying, like, do bases for a list that's not existent at the moment.
Well, right, but I'm also I'm also working on the slaves because I'm.
Yeah, that's true too.
But I mean, since Khorne, as we're going to find out here shortly, is basically the best army in the game again, I'll probably just play with what I have built and paint.
Well, we'll see. We will see. And again, take it with a grain of salt here, boys, because these faction focus articles don't tell you much really at all.
They tell you enough with Khorne.
Okay. There it was. I was waiting. It was dramatic pause. Oh, boy. Okay. We don't have... Well, I take that back. We do have... we do have one item for upcoming events.
Okay.
And that would be, after I timestamp this, our Old Man Gaming August RTT.
Fired up.
If you can guess, it's in August, because I just said so. Specifically August 24th. And that'll be again in Monroe, Michigan at Our House Games. So if you're close to the area or want to get in, your first event maybe in 4th edition, we will be hosting our first ever 4th edition one-day tournament August 24th. Now, I will say this, because I've seen and heard some people asking about our next event, and can only assume that it's going to sell out, kind of like our last one did, kind of early. So if you're wanting a spot, I'd get in on it right now, or as quick as you can anyway. We have currently 7 sign-ups already, and we're like
Double what we had.
It's like
last time we talked.
yeah. So it's weird because I don't check it every day because we're still 2 months away. Like
Right.
literally today is 2 months from the event date. And we had 7 already sign up, so there's 13 spots left because we can only house 20 in the store. So, I mean, if you want to be one of the lucky remaining 13, I mean, gotta sign up. But the link for that will be in our Discord. It's on BCP. If you just search, what do we name it? OMG August RTT. So you want to search that up, sign up. Be glad to have you. We do have a. We're going to keep it, I guess, secret right now because we don't officially have them made. But we do have some cool trophy ideas for this upcoming RTT, which will be pretty nice, and it will be definitely unique. You hear that, Mike? Unique trophies, okay?
Different than any that we've seen.
Yep. So that'll be cool. That's all for the announcements before the main show. So let's go ahead and get into this. And we'll start off with Seraphon.
All right. While you're bringing that up, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow. We are all over the internet: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Join our Discord if you want to see all the leaks we get and all the sweet conversations we have about this fucking shitty show.
Oh, yeah. 4th edition leaks have been going crazy this week. I mean, it doesn't help that Rob just basically has the whole fucking book leaked to him somehow.
Yeah.
And he already did a pretty lengthy, I think he had like a 6-hour stream earlier in the week that went over every section of the core rulebook. I believe he's since made a compiled video of it. I don't know how long that is, but that's also posted in our Discord. So if you want to catch that out or any of the screenshots that I was able to capture from his show, you know, they're in there. So, but okay, so Seraphon. I know this is one of the armies that you consistently shoved down my throat for a little while.
Yep.
Because you love, 45-minute hero phase spellcasting things, which is super fun to play against.
Yep.
Yeah. So I hope this army's dead.
Nope.
That's just my selfish take on it.
I
know
don't
there's
suspect
it won't be, I'm sure, but I really wish that they'd tone down. I get that they're like magic wizards, blizzard lizards, right?
Yeah.
But Jesus, man, it was like pretty rough to deal with sometimes. But let's see what they got.
I really like this. If you scroll down to the second group right there, right there. I like the paint job on those. I might just change my entire army.
Which one? Oh, this right here, the purple and dark blue and stuff.
Yeah, it's like mostly black.
Yeah, actually, yeah, black with like blue,
black, a little white, and then like some like bluish shading. Yeah, I actually think that looks really sharp, and it will be easy to do.
Yeah,
I might just do
dig that.
I like kind of what I've been doing, but We'll have to see when I get the ambition to paint again for that army, anyways. All right, let's move on. Sorry.
All right, no problem. Okay, so Seraphon's battle traits. You start off with a once per battle in the deployment phase called the Great Plan. You can pick an Astrium ability, which are listed to the right here. And that Astrium ability can be used for the rest of the battle, but the others cannot, unless allowed by the further the Great Plan ability. Okay, so you get one of these 4 things for the game, and that's the only one you get. So that's kind of like, I guess, we'll get through them. Okay, the other thing is the further the Great Plan ability, and that's once per battle at the start of the 3rd battle round. You can use this ability if you met the condition below that corresponds to the Astrium ability you picked in the deployment phase. So the first one, and these are all basically like, well, maybe we should run through those first.
Yeah, let's just run through the
actual abilities, yeah.
And then just do the corresponding 3rd round thing.
Okay, back and forth, sure.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
All right. So the first one is a combat passive, and the effect from this one is companion weapons used by friendly Seraphon units have crit 2 hits.
It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
for monsters.
I mean, depends on how many. Right, depends on how many companion weapons you're bringing in a list, but yeah, it could be pretty good. So once per battle at the start of the 3rd battle round, if you 3 or more enemy units have been destroyed.
Oh, you could have. I guess we could have talked about what happens if you do get to do that. So at the start of the 3rd battleground, if you complete this little thing, you get to pick a different Astrium ability in addition to the one you picked to start the game.
Okay.
So you get a second one.
Okay, I was getting caught up on that too. I know I read it before, and I went, why doesn't this make sense to my brain right now?
So you're going to pick Itzel the Tamer to start. You're going to run with your monsters. If at a 3rd round, at the start of the 3rd round, you've destroyed 3 or more enemy units, then
you get to pick another ability. Okay, that makes more sense. All right, so the second one is a passive ability. Wish these names made sense to my brain.
Obviously.
Yeah, okay. For this one, you subtract 1 from the rend characteristic of melee weapons for attacks that target friendly Seraphon units while they're wholly within friendly territory. Okay. All right, so it makes yourself a little bit more defensible. Yeah, while you're in your home territory, which, guess what you always do? Just castle up, baby.
But this is more for I think this is more for the melee type army. I don't know if it would be great.
Well, it's subtracting the rend from weapons that attack you.
It's good, but I really like Lock the Seer. So we'll get to it.
Okay, I got you. All right, so at the end of the 3rd battle round, if there are no enemy units wholly within friendly territory, you meet the criteria for that, and then you can pick another one of these Astriums. Yeah. So the 4th one is a passive charge phase ability called Sotek the Deliverer, and you can add 2 to the movement characteristic of friendly Seraphon units.
It's kind of good.
Yeah, +2 move is pretty good if you need to get around the board for some reason.
Yeah,
I guess this one would be more like if you're playing like a Coalesce style.
Yeah,
you're just making your mounted Dino Riders faster. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, you can make your little skinks faster too. What I'm confused about is why is it orange? That's the charge phase color.
It's a charge phase. I don't know. But it's got maybe it's a misprint on the color. Because it's got a movement phase icon.
Yeah, that's odd. It's supposed to be.
So it's a movement phase thing. And, yeah, I don't know. But the further the greater plan ability of this is If there are any friendly Slan units on the battlefield and no friendly Slan units are in combat or have been destroyed, I'd say that's pretty reliable.
Yeah, I think you're going to get that one off.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, that seemed pretty easily on how slans were played before. I mean, you're tucking them behind stuff and hiding them because you really don't need to have any, like, specific unbind range, right? Because you're just board-wide unbinds with them.
yeah.
So that'll be easy, I'm sure. But the last one you said is the one you like. It's a passive hero phase ability.
You messed that up, though. For Sotak, the enemy general is in combat or has been destroyed. Teapot the Seer, which is the last one, is the one you just read.
Oh, I completely skipped it because it's a one-liner. Okay,
Yeah.
Never mind.
So you add 2 to your movement characteristic, and if your enemy general is in combat or has been destroyed, which is also fairly easy in combat.
Yeah.
At the start of your third round, then you get to add another one, and then
okay, now we get to the one that you like.
The best one. Yeah.
All right, so Teapot the Seer. Like I said, hero phase passive ability. Add 1 to casting rolls for friendly Seraphon units. Of course, you would like that. Always plus to cast is what you just keep stacking on. And then you can never do anything in the hero phase against them, period. Fantastic. And so this one also is the one where you have, like I just read, the Slan units on the battlefield not in combat or not destroyed.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, those things are going to be, I think all of these, every one of these ones is going to be doable at some point in the game, right?
I think that probably the hardest one, realistically, is kill 3 or more enemy units. The thing is, it has to be done in the 3rd round to get the second one.
It has to be done in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, okay, so fine. Yeah. In the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So in the first 2 rounds, you have to kill and or destroy 3 or more enemy units. That's kind of tough.
Well, I mean, it depends. It still depends on if, like, you pick up a couple screens and then you're able to, like, massively spellcast again and then just blow another unit out, out of the water.
Yeah, I'm not taking that if you're spellcasting. I mean, gives your guys companion weapons 2 crits.
Well, yeah, you're right, because it's companion weapons. Yeah.
You're going to be bringing like a bunch of big baddies. You're going to roll across the board, and you're going to smash face. You're going to be bringing like the mounted dudes, the little mounted dudes, the big mounted dudes.
Well, okay. So all in all, though, if you don't run monsters, you're probably not doing that one anyway. But most Seraphon players don't really play heavy monster.
They did in 2nd edition, though.
Oh, well, we'll see how it goes then. But the other 3 are doable just by sheer ease.
I don't know that the second one's very easy either. There are no enemies fully within your friendly territory.
You can move up and just block it off. I mean, you got to skinks and... Well, I mean, like, yeah, maybe. I mean, still doable.
I think if you're playing monsters, you play the first one. The second one is probably going to be one of those that you pick up later in the game. Like, you're going to try to get the first one.
Yeah, if you pick an easy one, do it, and then you get this extra one.
And then you take the green one later.
Yeah. I can see that. All right, so that's the battle traits. Pretty self-explanatory. You pick one. If you do the thing, you get to pick another one.
Yep.
Not too hard.
It's not super complicated. We'll see again what kind of spells you have and everything. Hopefully, you're doing some cool shit with that.
All right. The battle formation that they show us is from the Sunclaw Star Host.
Love it.
And it is a once per turn, end of turn ability for the army. It's called Vengeance of Azir. What you do is you pick 3 friendly Saurus or Kroxigor units that are in combat to be the targets.
Okay.
Then the effect. For each target, make a pile-in move.
Yep.
Then pick an enemy unit in combat with the target and roll a d3. And on a 2-up, you do the special new mortal damage thing equal to the roll. Yeah, that's cool. Why not? Just to do they do it. So this is end of turn now, mind you. So it's not just this normal thing that happens. So this is end of turn. They do another pile-in move. And they get to do a 2-up mortal damage to you.
Yeah, I would have. I mean,
it's still. I mean, it's like. It's fine if you're running a bunch of Saurus or Kroxigors, I guess. Or at least 3 units of them, right?
Doing D3 damage. Mortal.
Yeah, but it's just extra. It's at the end of the turn.
Yeah, I guess.
End of turn stuff's cool. It's different. How impactful this will be, who knows? Because, I mean,
I'm hoping the other ones are better.
We did see the Kroxigor War Scroll early on, and they seemed like super good infantry or screen smashers.
Yeah.
So maybe they wouldn't even be in combat. If you're putting them into a small screen or something, they might just demolish them. Although I guess you could tag yourself into combat with something else, maybe, and then get another pile-in move later. Who knows? I mean,
right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they're going to have a little bit of a kind of a cheeky thing at the end of a turn to slightly maneuver a little bit, but that's fine, I guess. May not be the best one, is what I'm saying.
I don't think so.
All right, so the spell that we get to see is from the Lore of Celestial Manipulation. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
So, Mystical Unforging, cast on a 6. You need to pick a visible enemy unit within 12 to be the target.
Okay.
And if you successfully cast, you subtract 1 from rend characteristic from that target's weapons till the start of your next turn. Spell unlimited.
It's a good spell.
Yeah, I would say that in your current build, if it's still possible to run what you ran against me many, many times, every one of your wizards has a chance to cast this thing, and minus rend from multiple units is pretty fantastic. One thing that we did point, or that I did see in Rob's stream when he went through the core rules, and this will be true, I guess, because it's core rules, but all characteristics cannot be reduced lower than 1, except rend. So, we've seen a lot of those things that says subtract 1 from the attack characteristic, blah, 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 blah. You can't reduce it to 0. So it will just be a minimum of 1, even though it doesn't say it, because there's a core rule saying that the stats can't be reduced below 1. Unless you had something like this, where you're minusing rend and you had rend 1.
Yeah.
It just goes to nothing. So in case anybody had questions about that, it was answered in a core rule section. So, all right. Faction focused. Guess who? Slan Starmaster.
There's my boy.
All right, let's see what the Slan does. Hopefully he sucks.
He does not.
Okay, cool. All right, 5-inch move, 9 health on a 5-up save and a 6-up ward. Control value of 2. He has a melee attack that he will never use, but it's 6 attacks, 3s and 3s, rend 1/1 damage with crit mortals. So I guess you could do a few damage, I suppose, if you make a mistake and get him into combat.
Yeah.
All of his abilities are hero phase abilities.
Weird.
Yeah, kind of strange that he would be loaded up with hero phase things. First one being a passive ability called Masters of Order. And this one adds 1 to the casting roll for this unit. In addition, if this uses an unbind ability, I'm sorry, I messed that up. This unit can use an unbind ability if an enemy wizard anywhere on the battlefield uses a spell. Instead of being within 30 like a normal wizard, he's got Boardwine Unbinds, and that goes the same as using Banish Manifestation ability also. So here's... Yeah, he's a unbinder from the special heavens of magical lizards. So
but he's not plus one to unbind.
No, plus one to cast, but he remains board wide unbinder.
I mean, he's really plus 2 to cast because you're taking that ability up there.
Yeah. Okay, just calm your tits. All right. So before we look at his spell, I want to go to the other side. So once per turn in any hero phase, you can use the Arcane Vassal.
Yep.
You pick a friendly skink wizard wholly within 18 inches of this unit to be the target. Measure the range and visibility of the next spell ability used by this unit from the target. So you still get that ability where you can cast through a skink wizard.
But
right? But it's just once, right?
Once?
Yeah. Wholly within 18, one time per turn.
Yeah. So before it was anywhere on the table, I believe.
Oh, that was... I thought you had... maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Okay, well that's fine. I mean, that's... If you want to put a limiter on the Slan Star Master, I guess he's going to have to be wholly within 18 of a skink priest to do this one thing. Okay. Still get to do it, though. So...
That's good.
Yeah. All right, the other ability that's the non-spell is the once per turn army ability in your hero phase called Celestial Reinforcements. Guess what's coming? Since there's no more summoning in the game, we're just going to allow you to bring back shit. So, you pick a friendly Seraphon unit that started the battle with 3 or more models that has been destroyed to be the target on a dice roll of 4-up. Set up a replacement unit with half the number of models rounding up, wholly within 12 inches of this unit and 9 inches away from enemies. So there's your recursion.
Okay.
A lot of armies have this now. All the summoning armies get a way to bring models back onto the table, right?
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
The Arcane Vassal before was pick a friendly skink wizard within 12. So this is actually better than that. However, if you use the Oracle, it was anywhere on the battlefield. And that's the guy riding the Troglodyte.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, all right. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. Still fine. So the spell that the Slan has is called Celestial Equilibrium. Has a casting value of a 6. You make a casting roll. And for the rest of the turn, add 1 to casting rolls made for friendly Seraphon wizards while they're wholly within 12 of this unit. Cool. There's another +1 for you.
He had that before.
So you get +1 if you get the spell off. You get +1 as a passive. And you get +1 for the other thing. The army ability. So he's going to be at +3 without any other things going on.
Well, no. This one works for other friendly wizards.
Oh, I thought I said all. Okay, that's good. That's fine.
Nope.
Unless you have 2 Slans.
Which
you can do. Because he's not unique. Although, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could do it. I was just going to say War Master might limit him, but I don't think that's right.
I don't think War Master limits him.
So, run 2 Slans. How about that? Fuck Croak.
We'll see. Maybe fuck Croak.
Or Slan and 2 Croaks. Or Croak and 2 Slans, I mean. Who knows? Just like all the fat frogs on their chairs sitting in the back.
So he loses the shield of the old ones that used to give him a 4-up ward. Maybe it's in the spell group, so anybody can cast it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe that,
But-
or someone has it on their war scroll now, and then you gotta have to take this other dude to give a 4-up ward out, or who knows?
Oh, he gives it to himself.
Well, it could have been inherited by something else, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But more likely, like you said, it's probably in the spell lore somewhere. Okay, so like you said, he is a War Master. Wizard 3. Infantry is interesting, and he can fly. Infantry and can fly. I don't know if we've seen that yet.
All the ghosts.
Okay.
Fly is
fine.
actually
Okay, fine. A whole army.
Fly is actually really, the more I think about it, it's kind of garbage. You're not going to be able to take any abilities from any of your terrain. So if you're in cover, you don't get cover because you're flying above.
You can also get shot. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
You can't be obscured. I guess
Fly too high.
You can use the magical train to get +1 to casting, but
I mean, fly just makes you more vulnerable, I guess, right? So, all right. So Slan, still doing Slan things, pretty good still.
Yep.
All right, then we got up next the Saurus Old Blood on Carnosaur. I honestly don't even know if I've seen this guy on a table before.
Yeah, you played against what's his name, Evan from the game room.
Oh, not Evan. Mitch, I think his name is.
Mitch. That is his name.
Yeah. Okay. So the one guy he brought was You're probably right. I think he played with both of the. He bring both of the.
I don't know if he brought. I mean, he
brought both of them in a game that I played at once.
Yeah.
Like, whatever the two versions are, he brought them both because he kept pointing out that one was a combat one and one was not.
They're both combat monsters.
Well, they didn't live long enough to hit me anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, so this boy's got a 10-inch move, 14 health on a 4-up save, no ward, and a control of 5.
Okay.
Typical monster profile. He has a ranged weapon, 12 inches, D6 attacks, garbage, 3s and 3s, Ren 1 damage, but can shoot in combat.
It's just extra.
Yep. So the spear is 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, Ren 1 damage 2, but +1 damage on the charge, so damage 3.
Pretty good.
The claws and forelimbs are 4 attacks, 4s and 2s, Rend 1, damage 3. And the jaws, 3 attacks, 4s and 2s, Rend 2, damage 3. So if he charges, he's got 3 separate damage 3 attacks.
Yeah, and you also could get crit 2 hits if you're rolling that.
Yep. That could be he could be pretty devastating, right? That's a lot of damage. 15, 12 is 27, plus 9, 36 just in melee if you get everything through. 36 seems like a lot. I don't know if we haven't seen a lot that was above 30 before.
I think we haven't seen him yet.
Just wait. Just wait a little bit. All right. Okay, so his passive is the Jaws goes down to 2 attacks from 3. Big deal. When he's damaged. I love those ones where they're like, oh, you just lose 1 attack.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job of making it way less complicated.
Yeah. It's just like, you don't really have to pay attention at all anymore. Like the stupid table where you're like, oh shit, oh man, I can only move 12 instead of 14, and now I can only move, and then my attacks are minus by 1 or 2 or 3, and this is just like, bro.
And I think this kind of settles it that you count up how many wounds you have, not count down to how many you have left or whatever, because when you have 10 or more damage points, you add damage points to your freaking model. And when that's the case, then that's the case.
Well, they've described that too in how the damage pool gets applied, right? Now it's just a pool. And you count up. There ain't no counting down. You just count up. Because you got to keep track of the amount of the damage pool, and then you allocate to models at the end. So, hopefully everybody's on the same page with that now. It does get a little confusing. She was like, "Oh, this one I'm going to count up, or this one I'm going to count down." Like, okay. All right. Back to it though. He's got a passive ability in the charge phase called Spearhead of the Charge. If this unit is charged this turn, add +1 to charge rolls for friendly Saurus units while they're wholly within 18 of this unit for the rest of the turn.
Okay.
So, charge this boy in. The rest of your shit around him gets +1 to charges. Cool. We follow the old blood into battle. End of turn passive called Terror. It's not going to do what you think it does, because nothing flees. However, it's going to subtract 2 from the control scores of enemy units while they're in combat with this unit. So, -2 control to anything in combat.
It's pretty good, though.
Yeah, might not be too bad, especially like if you can charge this dude in and toe tap an objective that's got a unit sitting on it, and then all of a sudden, if you don't kill the unit, they're not going to outscore you, because you're going to subtract 2 from the score anyway. Pretty cool.
All right.
What do you got?
Nothing. I was saying all right to you.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, you're about to say something profound. Okay. Last ability on the War Scroll for the Old Blood is a combat phase once per turn called Bloody Frenzy. If this unit is in combat, any damaged enemy monster, or with a damaged enemy monster, roll a dice. On a 3-up, this unit has strike first for the rest of the turn.
That's real good.
Yeah, I mean, this dude, I would say, on average, kills any monster in the game outside of Gargants. I mean, if he fights himself, right? If he's got 14 wounds on a 4-up save.
If he charges and he
charge
strikes
him in.
first, then,
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, okay, so he strikes first. I guess if you roll bad, I don't know.
He's hitting with let's say 3.
3 then 2.
With 2, he's going to do 6 there at round 1. Meh. And then his claws. He's going to go hit with half, so 2, and he'll wound with both. So that's 3 damage, 6 damage there. So that's 12.
That's 12, yeah.
And then his jaws, he's going to take 3 swings, hit with half. So we'll say this time 1.5. I mean, realistically, maybe 2. And then wound with both. So that's 6 more damage. So he's realistically doing 18 damage. If he rolls a 6 on any of those and has the right ability, then, he's going to do double.
And that's without shooting in combat first.
Yeah.
Or I mean, shooting before getting into combat, right?
Yeah.
You might do a couple damage. I'm just saying, like, he's probably doing, like, even on average, just the combat is 18 without anybody making saves. Maybe 20 with the shooting. I mean, that's a lot to put into a monster with, like, I'm just, like, for example, taking my monsters into account here, where they got 14 or 16 health on a 4-up save, and hitting everybody with Ren 1 or Ren 2 maybe. I mean, that's a lot of damage that's still going to trickle through. So, maybe not a one-shot, but it's possible for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Hero monster. So he's just a straight monster that wants to get in a fight. I don't hate this. This is a pretty good war scroll.
Yeah. I mean, in the right army, it could be good. Depends on the points.
Yep. Oh, sure. Yeah. If he's costed out of taking them, then you would never. But all right. Your favorite Pterodon riders.
I usually use Ripperdactyls, but
Well, whatever. The flying little idiots, right?
well,
Skinks and bats.
Okay.
That's what I see.
Pterodons and Ripperdactyls are two different things, but that's fine. Yeah.
So, 14-inch move on these guys with 3 health and a 5-up save. Control value of 1. What do you get in this? A 3-man unit? Yeah.
Yeah. 3 bros.
So they get ranged attack is 10-inch range, 3 attacks, 4s and 5s, no rend 1 damage, but crit auto wound, so it may help. Melee attacks are 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, rend 1 damage as a companion weapon. So they get so they get no melee from the dude on top.
They never do.
That's just interesting, I guess. All right, so in your hero phase, though, they have deadly cargo. And you pick an enemy unit that this unit passed across during this phase to be the target. Roll a dice for each model in that unit, or in this unit. Add 2 to the roll if the unit is within combat range of a friendly Pterodon chief unit. For each 5-up, inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. If the damage points are allocated by this ability and the target does not have fly, the target cannot use run abilities for the rest of the next turn. Or till the start of your next turn, I'm sorry. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if I like that. Like, it seems like this is the ability that you would want to use if you brought these dudes. But it doesn't seem that effective.
Well, you're going to run them with a chief because it just gives you the bonus.
Well, you're going to, but I mean, like, okay, so you add 2 to the roll, so you're on 3-ups. You're going to do 1 mortal wound for each in the 3-man unit.
Yep. So you roll each one. You're going to do 2 mortal wounds total, and they're not going to be able to run. And the whole point of this unit is not to fight with anyways. This is one of those, like, go out and get objectives units. It runs 14.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know. Like, sure, and maybe Seraphon needs that kind of thing because maybe you're castled up most of the time or whatever and need some kind of go out and grab an objective type unit, but I don't know. I guess maybe if since you don't have summoning anymore, maybe this is be the way that you're going to have to start doing that kind of thing.
I don't think this is going to get used that much.
Well, I don't either, but I'm just trying to think of ways you might want to bring this. I mean, just for this abilities, maybe not.
You could reinforce it and run 6 of them, then you're going to do 4 mortals.
Yeah, but I mean, like, still not a lot. It's still not devastating. You're going to make somebody so they can't run. 90% of the time you don't run anyway with units. I don't know. It's not impressive to me, is all I'm saying. They have one other passive ability, attack from on high, and you subtract 1 from hit rolls for shooting attacks that target this unit. So, I mean, that's fine, I guess. They're not just going to get completely blown out of the sky unless they're get close enough to something that can really shoot.
So I think that's really good. I mean, if the meta goes to shooting again, like it has been in the past multiple times, these guys they get a little bit more stock. -1 to hits, -1 to hit.
Yeah, that's true. Although, I mean, out of all the war scrolls in the Seraphon army, I don't know. Maybe they get left behind.
No, it's probably not confused. In fact, let's just move along.
Yeah. All right, so the last one we're going to see is Engine of the Gods. It's got an 8-inch move, 14 health on a 4-up save. It is a monster with a 5 control. It's ranged weapon, 12 inches, 6 attacks, 4s and 4s, rend 0, damage 1, but she can shoot in combat. And then the Stegodon's Horns and Jaws, 6 attacks, 4s and 2s, rend 1, damage 2, +1 damage on the charge as a companion weapon. When he's damaged, he will drop those attacks down to 4. And then he's got 2 abilities once per turn in the combat phase, or any combat phase. He's got a Crest of Horns. You pick an enemy unit that charged this turn and is in combat with this unit. Roll a d3 on a 2-up. You get 2 effects. One is inflict the amount of mortal damage onto the target equal to the roll, like we've seen many, many times already. And then also add +1 to save rolls for attacks made by that enemy unit that targets this unit for the rest of the turn. I like that. This is good. It's good as a rampage.
That adds +1
to save. Yeah. You're already getting +1 to save. So it may come down to this thing's pretty damn hard to kill, right? I mean, it's got a 4-up save, but you're basically going to get +1 to save. So you're at a 3, and if anything's got rend, you can all out defense and keep it at a 3. Yeah, I don't hate that. The other ability is your hero phase ability called Cosmic Engine. You pick this unit to see whether or not you're going to harness or reserve the power of its Cosmic Engine. And there's a couple of effects here. If it will reserve the power, place a Cosmic Power token next to this unit. More tokens we got to have. If it harnesses the power, you roll a dice and add the number of the Cosmic Power token to the roll. Then remove all Cosmic Power tokens, and this unit has to pick one of the following effects, if possible. So on a 3+, you can heal D3 to all friendly Seraphon units wholly within 12 of this unit. That's pretty hot.
That's good.
You can do Starlight Summons, and on a 5-up, you can pick up to 3 friendly Seraphon units wholly within 12 of this unit and return 1 slain model to each unit. That's good. Especially if you harnessed a couple Cosmic Power tokens beforehand, then it becomes real easy to get more models back.
Yeah, but that's an entire turn where you're not rolling.
Yeah, but maybe you don't have to heal. Maybe you don't gotta. There's going to be a scenario where you don't do one of these things. Maybe. The last effect is Time Slows, and on a 6-up, you can pick up to 3 Seraphon units wholly within 12 of this unit. Those have strike first for the rest of the turn. So, yeah, I think all 3 of those are pretty good to have. I mean, healing is good. Returning models to a unit's also pretty good. Especially, like, it doesn't say that... it's not even return, like, the amount of wounds to bring 1 model back. It's just bring a model back.
Yeah, so it's good with like
Kroxigor's going to have multiple wound models.
Source or 2, but
sure, but I mean, like, you just get to do it. I mean, you don't get to do this every turn, or maybe if you just roll fucking hot, I guess you could do it all the time, but you're going to need to build up a couple Cosmic Power tokens, it seems, to do a few of these. So, you may take a couple turns just to have a couple of tokens in reserve. But then again, yeah, I don't know, maybe they're just priced as far as like, hey, we only really want you to do this once per game.
Well, and that's the thing. So think about this. Let's say you do it on the first turn and you have saved up nothing. If you roll a 6, great. If you roll a 2, nothing happens, and you lose all the. And let's say you do it on turn 4 and you've saved 3 turns worth of tokens, and you roll and you need to bring guys back. You need a 5+. You roll a 1. You're a 4. You fail. So you're going to get to heal a couple bros, but that's it. So, and they all go away. If you pass it or you fail it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You probably spend more time collecting the cosmic power tokens, just so you can almost guarantee you getting one of the things off that you want to do later.
I think this thing sucks, but if it is gonna see play, I can see it in like a army, like a melee type army with like big monsters, and let's say you do like a couple Seraphon, or I mean a couple Stegodons charging with this thing, and they're all within 12 of it, and you make it strike first, so you're gonna just roll in there and just smash face with a bunch of Stegodons at
Yeah,
default.
you could probably do that. The healing would be good on that. That kind of a build.
I mean, this used to have a guy on it that was either a caster or a priest. I can't remember. And now it doesn't have either. And I just, I mean, so Engine of the Gods was so good too in second edition, and then got worse last edition, and now I feel like even worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's not overly impressive here. The rampage is good. The attacks are okay. Yeah, but they basically made this hero phase ability like once per game. You get to do a thing.
I mean, if you want to do the heal, you could probably do it more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just making it a support piece, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. This one's on the fence for me.
I mean,
suppose it could be good. Yeah.
But it's shit that has to be wholly within 12. And every turn you can roll, and if you get a 3 up, great. And if you don't, well, okay.
Yeah. So just okay, I guess.
I think time slows is the way to go. So I don't know.
I do see Saurus Warriors on the Spearhead War Scroll. It's got 2 attacks apiece, 3s and 3s, Ren 1/1. Were they always damage 1, the Warriors?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Give me 10 seconds and I'll know that information.
But the passive ability they do have, at least in the Spearhead, is add 1 to save rolls while this unit's contesting an objective you control. So that's not half bad either to have on a block of 10 dudes.
No. But who knows if they're going to get that this time? Like, this is this scroll, but
yeah.
Before they had the exact same thing for their club, not for the spear. So I'm wondering if they're going to have the ability to even take spears, or if it's going to be a separate war scroll.
Nah, it'll just be fucking celestial weapons or some shit like that. All of the weapon options are gone that used to be.
Not all of them.
Yeah, 95%. Okay, Seraphon done. Overall thoughts of what you've seen?
Too soon to tell.
Always. Yeah, I guess like you didn't really get to see any of the spellcasting stuff other than the slan, so it's hard to tell if there's still going to be like. I'm sure there's still going to be a massive casting army. I can't believe that they wouldn't be. But it'll be interesting to see like how you go ahead and build that same list without the sub faction giving it the bonuses, and I guess maybe you'd have a spellcasting one, but they're still going to be okay. I think they'll still be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. We'll see. It's all going to be about points and what the rest of the models look like. But anyways, that's great. Let's move on to something good.
All right. He's just getting super excited, folks, because I pulled up a Slaves to Darkness article. All right. So in Slaves to Darkness is the new passion that's on Josh's work desk. Why don't you run us through the battle traits?
All right. So they're going to get the Eye of the Gods. They're going to keep Eye of the Gods. And then they're going to keep their Marks of Chaos. So let's do Marks of Chaos first. Each friendly Slaves of Darkness unit has to have one of the following marks. If they have Undivided, they're going to get +1 to wound rolls against heroes and monsters, which is freaking ridiculously good. Khorne will add 1 to attacks characteristic of the unit's melee weapon for the rest of the turn if they charge. So I think it's the same. Tzeentch will get a ward save of 4 up against mortal damage inflicted by spell abilities and abilities by manifestations, which is okay. Nurgle will subtract 1 from wound rolls for combat attacks that target the unit. And Slaanesh will add 1 to run rolls and charge rolls for the unit. If a unit with Mark of Chaos keyword is replaced, replacement has the same keyword. So if you bring one back and it has a keyword.
Yeah.
So I got this at Nurgle. Actually, I forgot about Undivided when I ranked them before. I'm gonna go Nurgle, Undivided, Khorne, Slaanesh, then Tzeentch. The only time I'm playing Tzeentch is if I bring a wizard, probably. But even then, I would rather almost put Nurgle on him because he's just harder to wound. I can't think of any situation where I wouldn't take Nurgle or Undivided.
Yeah, the modifiers for wound rolls are always like way up there in like I don't know what you call them, like importance or whatever, because there's not a lot of other modifiers that your opponent will have to like negate those things.
Yeah. Like maybe Khorne on Varangard, but I don't know what Varangard look like. And maybe on Knights, but I think I just like Nurgle a lot. And Undivided.
Yeah, -1 to wound for all attacks against you is
combat attacks, so not rated.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you're getting into a fight, it's better to not die.
Yeah, it's 100% better to not die. So let's look at the Eye of the Gods. Each friendly Slaves to Darkness unit that destroyed an enemy unit this turn, friendly beasts and non-hero monsters cannot be targeted by this ability. So at the end of every turn, each friendly Slaves to Darkness unit that destroyed an enemy unit this turn, other than beasts and non-heroes, gets to roll on this table. Fucking good. All right, so you roll d6 and you apply the corresponding effect. You can re-roll the award, but if you do so and roll a 1, you take d3 mortal damage.
So free re-rolls, fantastic.
Yeah. So 1 is Snub of the Gods, no effect or damage if you re-roll. On a 2, you're going to heal 3. Just straight up, no Ds.
Straight 3.
It's straight 3. On a 3, a natural damage, you add 1 to hit rolls for the rest of the battle. On a 4, you get a 6-up ward save for the rest of the battle. If you already have a 6-up ward save, it bumps it to a 5. That's awesome. On a 5, you get to add 1 to the rend characteristic for the rest of the battle. And on a 6, you get to just pick whatever the hell you want. You can apply the same effect multiple times, and more than one effect can apply to the same unit. So that's good. A unit without a ward save can get a 6 and bump that up to a 5. You know, you can bump your hit rolls until you're hitting on 1+.
You also stack rend.
You can stack rend like a mofo. It's just all really, really good. You think about an Undivided character that adds 1 to wound rolls against heroes and monsters, and then you're stacking your hits or your rend. I mean, that thing's going to be a killing machine, and we're going to see him in just a minute.
Fantastic. Battle traits are good.
Yeah, so God's Wrath Warband, the Ironclad Onslaught, you pick an objective that's contested by any friendly units, and you defile it. You put a token next to the objective and then roll D3 for each enemy contesting the objective that has a defiled token. On a 2-up, they take mortal damage.
Pretty neat.
It's pretty cool.
End of turn mortals. Yeah, why not?
That's better than the other one that we just looked at. So spells. Lure of the Damned in your hero phase on a 7-up, you get demonic speed. You're going to add 1 to the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls. So 3d6 charges.
Yeah, I mean they had that. That was basically the same as before, right? They did 3d6 charges with this spell. I think
Yeah, maybe.
there was a way to do a 3d6 charge. I think somehow. So
Yeah, it's awesome regardless. I mean,
yeah, especially
playing
the
a
way
lot of
you're gonna play that shit. You're gonna play all that heavy cav stuff.
it's -1 to wound.
Yeah.
Why even bother with Slanesh if you can just get an extra die instead of an extra 1?
Oh sure, yeah.
I mean, that's the way I look at it. So Be'lakor, my main man, the big B. You need to. There we go. Bring him on in. He's got a 14 move, 14 health, 4-up save with a 6-up ward, and 10 control because he's a boss. Write that down. He has the blade. Boss, write that down.
Got
it. He's got the Blade of Shadows, which is 8 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 rend and 2 damage with crit, auto wound. I mean, it seems good on paper, but we'll see. I mean, that's 16 possible damage. But if you give him Eye of the Gods and he's +1 to hit, and then you're attacking a hero or a monster, you're +1 to wound, suddenly he's a little bit more thumpy. And then he has this and that'll go down to 6 attacks if he takes damage. The Fell Claw and Spearing Tail is going to be 2 swings, 2s and 2s, 2 rend and 2 damage. And then on a charge, he's going to get +1 to the damage on that. So that's the combo of his claw and tail before. They were 1 attack each. This one's probably slightly better.
2s and 2s, real good.
Yep. And so, I mean, in theory, you're going to be doing some decent damage with him. I mean, he was always kind of a disappointment in combat. We'll see if it's different this edition.
Well, you just need to roll better than, your normal average roll.
Well, yeah, or you just need to make it 2s and 2s. So he's going to have shadow form as usual. He is going to ignore modifiers, positive and negative, to his save roll. That's a blessing and a boon. And then his rampage looks like Deadly Trap. You declare, pick this unit and up to 2 friendly Slaves of Darkness units wholly or just within his combat range, so within 3 inches of him, and roll a die for each target. On a 4+, the target has strike first for the rest of the turn.
Yeah, I like that.
That's real good. Yeah, he rolls up with 2 of his buddies, and everyone's going to smack your ass on a 4-up. 50-50 shot. You're going to get at least 1. And so you're going to attack with 2 of them, because you're going to do the first strike and then do your pick. Yeah. All right. So once per turn. Okay. So everyone, is kind of concerned. Is he going to keep his ability? The Dark Master prevails. He's going to pick a visible enemy to be the target. And until the start of your next turn, each time the target is picked to use an ability, you're going to roll a die as a reaction, and a 3+, the ability has no effect. Now, I was talking to Mitch about that at the store today, actually. We were saying that it's as good as the previous one. You're going to, amongst us, you're going to get a 3-up just like before, and you're going to shut down the one thing they're going to do each phase. The exception will be if you do it to a caster, you got to roll a 3-up to shut down every one of their spells. So they're going to cast a spell. You got to roll to see if you shut it down. They're going to try to cast another spell. You got to roll to see if it's shut down. So it may not be as good against wizards as it previously was. It's not going to shut down a wizard most of the time for the entire phase. So we'll see. I don't know if it's going to be used as much on casters as it once was, but everything else, generally, you're only going to be doing 1 ability during each phase anyways. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. And I don't know. I don't think that you really ever did that ability to me on a multiple casting wizard. It was more or less, for me anyways, it was more or less you wanted to slow down one of my hammer units.
Well, and that's why I tried to explain to him also. I was like, well, he's like, you always use it on a caster. And I was like, yeah, never. You never do that. The exception would be like a croak.
Yeah, maybe a guy with like
army.
Sure, or like fucking Nagash.
Sure.
Where they're going to do like 9 spells or whatever he's got. Then at least you got a shot at shutting them down.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just automatic 3-up the spell scrolls. So it's not even that bad.
No, it's fine for that, but
not a guaranteed lockdown for the unit against that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's still good. It's still a 3-up.
Yeah, know? Well, and also, I mean, it almost might be better because if you roll a 2 in the past, all of a sudden Croak's going to cast all his spells.
Right.
But now you cast a spell, I roll a 3, stop it. Maybe the next one I get a 2, you get it off, and after that I get a 3 and a 3 and a 3.
Yeah,
I'm shutting down the entire magic phase.
In fact, for all of you oogity boogity runners out there, you'll always be able to get this ability off because that fucking asshole with the laser eyes never rolled under a 3. Yeah,
you should all just. I mean, since he's not going to be in the game anymore, you probably should just
start running Bellicor. Yeah.
So yeah, I think, and you know, obviously when this first came out, I talked a lot about it in our Discord and
yeah, you were hating on it, I think, for a little while.
I think the ability, but it's grown on me, so we'll see. And I think I even said to Mike, okay, you win. I say he's even. He's not nerfed. And so then his spell is Wicked Good on a 6. He's gonna pick a enemy unit within 18, and until the start of your next turn, they're gonna be -1 to hit, and they cannot score critical hits.
Yeah, I mean that could be cool, right? Turning off, you know, special abilities and stuff is fine.
That's fucking awesome. Like all your weapons,
and they're -1 to hit. Yeah, I mean -1 to hit is probably the better one. But if you're also gonna take off like
crit 2 hits,
or I mean, like we've seen a lot of cavalry that's just +1 damage on the charge, so it's like, okay, run your cavalry into me now.
That's not a critical hit.
Oh,
that's just a charge ability.
That's a
crits are.
Never mind. It's like the auto wound or the +2 hits or whatever. Yeah, I mean it's still good to be able to, especially if a unit has those things. I mean that's going to be the target.
Yeah.
Of the spell, so, yeah, no, it's a good spell.
Yeah, it's a real good spell. So he's a wizard too. He flies, which we've just said is not necessarily great, but he's a monster, so he's not really hiding from shit anyways.
Now it's interesting though. Is he keyword locked here to undivided?
You don't get keyword locked. That means he has to take undivided. He doesn't get to pick a mark. He's undivided.
Okay, well that's what I meant. Like, so he doesn't get a choice. He's just undivided. Period.
Yeah, he's always been undivided. Okay. But I mean, undivided used to be like you get to re-roll in your bravery test or something. But this is just freaking good. Add 1 to wound rolls against heroes and monsters.
See, that's what I said. I thought, like, when I read through his scroll at first, I thought he's just more of a fighter now. To me, a little bit, okay, because he's got undivided, so he's going to be +1 to wound heroes and monsters, right?
Okay.
So if you, yeah, I mean, crit auto wound's good, especially with 8 attacks.
Yeah, and you're going to buff his brand in his hit, probably.
Yeah, so literally he's going to be on 2s and 2s with everything. If you're putting him in a fight, right? You have a chance to get friendly units that are around him strike first. The only thing that's kind of like meh is the fact that he ignores all modifiers positive and negative to his save. I guess you would like if he was going to be a combat monster, you wouldn't see that. You'd be able to like bring his save down.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing is like now there's not a lot of bonus to save anyways, but there's lots of negatives. So actually it's better. But if he had a 3-up save, he would be devastating. He would be super powerful.
Right.
But since it's a 4-up, he's still 50-50. But if you go to a 4-up, 5-up, if you give him that ward save buff from Eye of the Gods, which will be very easily done. Then
Yeah, like I said, I don't think you. I mean, before you never got this dude into combat really ever, because you were just holding him back, casting spells and doing his ability and stuff.
Good, honestly, he just wasn't that good in combat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like he might be worth sticking in there now.
The trial by fire, he's going into combat.
So I mean, I personally like this better than what it was before. Overall, I think he's a little bit more fighty. And his ability is going to be a little bit more effective, especially if you decide to. Hero phase will be much better against a multi-caster if you decide to use it on him. The rest of the time, it's the same as it was before. On a 3-up, you just shut down a unit for a turn or a phase. So, and the spell's better.
And his spell's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess overall he's a plus.
Yeah. Would you say auto include?
Oh, I think he's auto include. I mean, he's auto include in every army that I've ever played that was chaos. I mean, I don't think there's ever been an army that I didn't play chaos, except for maybe Tzeentch when I was playing a lot of Tzeentch, but I don't even know if I had him then.
I guess the other thing is now is though allies are dead.
Yeah, and
so he has to go on a Slave of Darkness list.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's no coalesce, but it says in the rules there's enhancements, and we haven't seen any enhancements. So I suspect there will be rules that we haven't seen. So I'm not giving up the chance that he could possibly join any army.
All right. Well, still overall, pretty damn good.
I give him a 10+.
All right. What about the Demon Prince?
Demon Prince is even better. So Demon Prince is going to move 8, has 10 health, 3-up save, and a 5 control. He also has a 6-up ward save. He's a hero and he's infantry, so not a monster. He's going to have 6 swings, 3s and 3s, -1 and 3 damage with crit mortals. It's pretty good. You roll that 6 and you're going to crit 3 times. And then you get to choose what he is going to be as far as Undivided, Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, or Slaanesh. You're going Nurgle, probably. -1 to wound is really good. And then you get to choose what he's going to have as far as if you want wings or a trophy rack. And so wings is going to give you a movement characteristic of 10 and fly. Fly is good if you want to charge over the top something and maybe hit something behind or whatever else, but you're not getting that cover save and you're not going to be obscured.
Yeah, but if you got a 3-up save and a Mark of Nurgle with a 6-up ward, I don't know if you give a shit.
Yeah, maybe not.
Cover is probably not that important at that point, but still.
Well, I mean, cover makes you -1 to hit, though. -1 to hit and -1 to wound is really looking good. All right. We'll leave that alone. If you give him the trophy rack, then he's going to have anti-hero rend 1. So his movement goes to 8 instead of 10, and he doesn't have fly, but he gets -1 to hit and cover, and he can be obscured, and he can kill heroes easier, and he's real fucking good. So that's why I bought the second one, so I can put a trophy rack on him, so I can have one of each. And I may play them both because of this ability. In your hero phase, you declare a non-unique unit wholly within 12 of this unit that shares the Mark of Chaos keyword with this unit to be target. So it has to be. So if this guy's undivided, your target has to be undivided. If your guy's Nurgle, this guy's got to be Nurgle. You roll a die, and on a 3-up, you could the target immediately gets an Eye of the Gods ability as if for the end of your turn, and they had destroyed a unit. So he's just passing out Eye of the Gods like it's going on a style.
Yeah, a 3-up. That seems good.
Yeah, so you roll 2 of these guys, and they just sit in the back, and they go first turn. All right, Be'lakor, my undivided one goes, hey, Be'lakor, why don't you roll on the Eye of the Gods table? You're a bro. And then the other one goes, hey, Nurgle bros, why don't you roll on the Eye of the Gods table? You're a bro. And
yeah, he's
and
like
or they just do it to themselves.
He's like Father Christmas, just giving out gifts.
Yeah. He's fucking good.
Yeah, they made him playable now.
They made him almost auto include. I think he's definitely auto include 1. I honestly, I think maybe 2. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see list, because I know that the list you wanted to run was all Cav plus Abraxia, maybe.
Yeah.
But these last couple scrolls might make you a mixed arms list. Maybe. Who knows?
These guys aren't necessarily mixed arms, though. I mean, they're.
Well, I mean, like, you'd have to remove some Cav to add these dudes in. Then if you add, whatever,
point wise, the fit shit. He's not a wizard.
No, definitely.
Which I don't love. That is I guess a weird hit, weird flex, but it is what it is. Let's move on to the Chaos Knights. So these guys have 10 move, 4 health, glow up, and 3 save, control 1. Curse Lance is going to have 3 swings, 3 up, 1 rend, and 1 damage, 2 on the charge. And the hooves are going to be 2 attacks, 5s and 3s, 1 damage, just like every other horse in the game. They have the passive ability of Impaling Charge. So they're not only going to get +1 damage when they charge, but they're also going to get +1 to their rend. And then they also get to pick a mark. I'm taking Nurgle or Khorne on these all day. Nurgle just because, I mean, they're already a 3-up save, and they're going to be -1 to wound, and they have 4 health. That's pretty solid. Khorne, because when I charge, then I'm going to have 4 attacks at damage 2 and 2 rend. That's pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they seem fine, especially if you're going to run that cavalry list. I mean, you're going to have some of these dudes and some Varangard. And I'm sure it'll be pretty tough to deal with. The other thing we don't know yet either is, like, is there going to be a battle formation that favors cavalry?
Yeah.
Because they had something before, like Knights of the Empty Throne was bonuses to something, run and charge maybe, or something with...
Yeah, something like that.
So, I mean, like, you could just get that type of thing where you got pluses to run and charge, or let them run and charge in the same turn or something. And you obviously want to be charging with these dudes, and probably Varangard also, right? So
I mean, who knows? Hopefully Varangard does some damage. I'm not really impressed with the damage of these guys. I mean, you're bringing 5, so that's 15 attacks, +1 for the champ, so 16 swings. You're going to do 16 is what?
Like 12?
Probably about 12.
And then
maybe 11. And then you're going to do 8 wounds at rend 1, 1 damage. Or if you charge, rend 2 damage. So up to 16 damage at that point. I mean, on a charge, they're going to be good, and otherwise they're going to be okay. They better bust whatever they're going to hit when they hit it. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck in it. Yeah.
Yeah. And what with 4 health, though, and a 3-up save, they're going to stick around for a little bit.
Well, and that's why I like as Nurgle, because then they're also -1 to hit. and then you blow something up with them, and they're going to get +1 to their. They're going to get a 6-up more ward save also.
I guess yeah, probably. I was just about to say maybe undivided, but I don't know if you're running these dudes into a hero or a monster. Mostly they're probably just going to be going in.
Only because you want to use your demon prince to, do stuff to them.
Yeah, maybe.
And if you bring an undivided demon prince to buff up Be'lakor, then you might want to use them to buff up your knights too. I don't know.
I mean, you got options, but I still think these dudes are going to be all right. They're going to be included in list 2.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be played with, and they're either going to be, I think, mostly Nurgle or Khorne. I mean, there's a lot of people that like to run Khorne for whatever reason, but I think Nurgle and Undivided are by far the better two. So we'll see. So let's look at the Dark Oath Marauders. These guys don't get a mark of a note.
Nope.
So they are undivided automatically. They're going to be move 5, 1 health, 5 save, and 1 control. They'll have a musician and a standard bearer, just like the last unit. And they come in units of 10. So they're going to have 2 swings, 4s and 3s, 1 damage. They get they get their oath, as all the Dark Oath people have. In this case, they're going to get on an 8+. They're going to add 1 to their rend characteristic for the rest of the battle. Oh, not on an 8+. If they charge and roll an unmodified 8+, then they become rend 1.
Yeah.
And then they have death rolls. When this
murder rolls.
Murder rolls. Thanks. When this unit is wholly within 12 of any hero that's Dark Oath, each time a unit or a model in the unit slain, they roll a d6, and on a 5-up, they do a murder roll.
# murder rolls.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really only going to be effective like the last time we had murder rolls, is if you had a bunch of dudes die, and you can roll 5-ups.
Yeah, I think it sucks. I don't love murder rolls.
Well,
but these guys are fine. I mean, they're okay.
You also didn't roll Slaves of Darkness as a horde army.
I never did. Yeah, I never did. But I mean, and I never used Khorne as a horde.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, there are obvious builds that could lean into this ability, right? Like if you brought a fuck ton of Dark Oath, and you had 40, 60 models on the table of these little dudes. But then again, there's better things to bring. So
maybe.
You're going to see this for sure. You are definitely going to see this at a tournament because some dude was like, loves barbarians type of shit. Yeah. And they're going to go, I got a whole fucking 100 of these bros.
Yeah, and I used to want to do something like that. Like back in the day in Warhammer Fantasy Battles, I wanted to run a Dundling Horde from Lord of the Rings and paint them all like brownish colors and make them look like Dundlings, but I'm over that now. That's the end of that story.
Yep. Cool. That was a good one, man. That was a good story. It was fast.
Warriors
2 sentences.
Chaos Warriors are in the spearhead, and I don't love them. So I'm not even going to look at this War Scroll. And I hope that it is not the War Scroll. So we'll leave it alone.
2 attacks, 3s and 3s, rend 1 damage. Yeah, I mean they'll definitely have a 3-up save, which, yeah, who cares until the real rules come out, really, right?
Yep. I don't even care about that at all. Let's look at orcs.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everyone's beloved screaming meanie greenies.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're looking at Iron Jaws. All right. I have high hopes for this army because I have a bunch of primed models sitting in a box for a little while that I picked up last year, and I would love to play these someday. Especially big pigs. All right, battle traits, very small section compared to the ones we've been going over so far. But Ironjaw's battle traits are as follows. Once per turn for the army, in your hero phase, you get Mighty Destroyers. However, this has drastically changed from what it was. However, pick a friendly Ironjawz unit that was not set up to be set up this turn to be the target. That target can move up to 3 inches. It cannot move into combat, and if it was in combat at the start of the move, it must end the move in combat. I don't know if I love this really. So you're able to. My Destroyers was a command you could give out before, and then you could tell someone to move in the hero phase their movement characteristic, right? If you were close enough to a unit, you would have to try to charge that unit in with a charge roll.
Right.
This, you pick a friendly unit. So you get to pick one unit in the hero phase per turn to move 3 inches. The only thing that's okay with this, I guess you could use it in a manner to where, like, if you're already in combat, you could make it's basically you're making a free pile-in move in your hero phase if you're already in combat, right? Which doesn't suck. That can lead to some cool things, tagging other things that you want not to be able to move or whatever. I don't know, but I think all in all, most Ironjawz players are kind of disappointed in the way that this was written now. You can't issue it multiple times. You can't move your normal move characteristic. Well, right, I'm just saying, like, it's the way it's written here versus the way it worked before. Totally different. Doesn't seem to be as impactful this way.
Yeah, but they could be totally messing with you, and there could be an enhancement of some sort that lets you make it a 6-inch pile-in or move, and that lets you move it into combat. You don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see. I would imagine that was a big part of what they did before was Mighty Destroyer's hero phase move things.
Yeah.
But we'll see. The other ability is a once per battle charge phase ability. This is the Ironjawz Wah. So you pick a friendly Ironjawz hero to be the target. And for the rest of the turn, the following effects apply to friendly Ironjawz units that are wholly within 18, so not board wide anymore. You get +1 to the charge rolls for those units and +1 to the attacks characteristics of those units' melee weapons.
I like that.
So, yeah, I mean, you're probably going to call this with a Maw Crusher so you can get a little bit of extra inches on the range. Likely. But still 18 inches, although that's a big bubble, it's not board wide, so you're going to have to kind of keep that in mind when you're calling it to make sure you don't have stuff out of range and you get the most effectiveness out of this. But still +1 to charge and +1 to attacks is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, if the war scrolls are any good.
Well, sure. All right, so battle formations. They show us Ironjawz Brawl, which sounds cool. Passive ability in the charge phase of Natural Disaster.
It's a disaster.
It is. And the effect is if you make an unmodified charge roll of an 8+ for a friendly non-hero Ironjawz unit, add 1 to the attacks characteristics of that unit's melee weapons for the rest of the turn. I don't know, man. I think this, like, unmodified charge rolls of 8+ probably is very small chance that ever happens.
I don't think it's a small chance. I'm trying to think of the bell curve.
Like 7 is average on 2d6, right?
Less than 50%. Yeah, 7 is going to be your average, and it's going to be your most common roll.
But how many times you go for a charge and you roll 7 or less? A lot, it seems like. I'm not talking about averages. I'm just talking about on the table. like every once in a while you'll hit like a fucking 11 or a boxcar or something like that, right? He hardly ever can make a 9-inch charge. And an 8 just seems like barely touchable sometimes. So I don't know. This is my personal take. I know statistically it's probably going to work out as far as the math goes, but it's not every unit either. It's specifically non-hero Iron Jaws units. So
yeah, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to give a hero +1 attack? Like, okay.
So it's okay. It's I'm sure this is like geared toward like running brutes and ard boys type of a list, but
lots of models.
Yeah. But okay, whatever. All right, the spell from the Lore of the Weird is smash 'em or smash 'em. I'm about to say smash 'em and bash 'em. Guess what's gone? That doesn't exist.
Bash 'em lads.
Bash 'em lads is what we get. Cast on a 6. You pick an Iron Jaws wizard, and then a visible Iron Jaws unit within 12 of that wizard. Holy Within. So if you get the spell off, you give that target's melee weapons crit 2 hits for the rest of the turn, and it is unlimited. Only problem with unlimited spells in an Iron Jaws list is you probably only have one wizard. Maybe 2.
I mean, that's what you saw before.
Yeah, well, sure. Like, I mean, man, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a list where you have multiple wizards in an Iron Jaws list, but I don't think so. In their war scrolls in general don't have a lot of wizards anyway. Is it just the shaman?
Yeah.
Because you can't ally in the wizards anymore, so it's just the shaman that's an actual wizard, I want to say.
Yeah, because all the other ones were like other
orcs that were allied in. Yeah.
And, but the orc weird knob shaman looks like it's the only one.
So, I mean, if he's cheap enough, maybe if he's 100 or 120 points, maybe you could bring 2 of them, but I don't know. I mean still.
How the rest of your spells look like, too.
Yeah, I mean, Bash 'em lads is okay. I don't mind exploding 6s on a unit of like dudes that have a lot of attacks already, but
it's really good.
Yeah. But I mean, the unlimited part is the weird part because like,
yeah, how many wizards you roll?
Yeah,
but I mean, one wizard is a definite now, I think.
Yep. Oh sure. Because you're gonna like cut yourself off from half of the stuff you're gonna be able to use if you don't bring one.
Right.
So, I do like the spell. The question is, how effective is it going to be if you only bring one wizard? So, yeah. All right. First unit to look at here on the War Scrolls is Gordrak.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen him play all that much in last edition. But I think you're probably going to see him more now. Okay. I think this bro does a shit ton of damage. Yeah, I think he does a lot of damage. So he's got a 10-inch move, 20 health, which is damn near a Mega Gargant, or pretty close. A 3-up save is fantastic for him because I think before he had a 4-up save, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he had a 12-inch move and a 4-up save.
Yeah, so even better of the 3-up save with 20 health. Man, this dude's going to be tough to beat on. He has a ranged weapon with an 8-inch roar. It's 6 attacks, 2s and 3s, no rend, 1 damage, but it can shoot in combat.
Yeah, he used to have 1 rend, otherwise it was the same.
All right, his 2 weapons got combined into 1. So the Smasher and the Cunnin. 8 attacks total, 3s and 2s, rend 1, 2 damage. Although it is anti-hero plus 1 rend. He also has the Big Chief's Fists and Tails with 8 attacks, 4s and 2s, rend 1, 3 damage, and anti-monster +1 rend. Those attacks go down by 2 if he takes 10 damage or more. So a bunch of attacks. That's just a lot of attacks, man. 6 on the shot, 8 and 8 for damage 2 and 3 apiece.
It's actually nerf. I mean, he used to have 5 with Smasha, 5 with Cunning, and then 9 to start with his Mighty Fist and Tail. So I didn't really realize it, but yeah, it's actually kind of a nerf. They get the bonus to rend with the Smashing and Cunning, which they didn't have before. But the Mighty Fist and Tail was rend 2 to start before. So
Well, okay.
I mean, it's still badass.
Yeah, he's still gonna punch the shit out of somebody. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He has a rampage ability, so once per turn in the combat phase, or any combat phase, he's got monster grapple. You pick an enemy monster that's in combat with the target, or to beat a target. You roll a dice on a 3-up, pick one of the target's weapons, and you must pick a companion weapon if there is any, and then half the number of attacks, rounding up for the rest of the turn.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, just to tell a monster, no, you ain't killing me. I got 20 health on a 3-up save, and now you hit me with half your attacks. Yeah, especially with a big weapon, you know. Yeah, that could be pretty devastating to like I don't know, like a Mega Gargant that has a damage 5 weapon, and he's got 3 attacks or 4 attacks with it or whatever, and you go, well, you're not hitting me with all of those attacks for sure. Also, once per battle, if you declared the Wog, he has the Voice of Gork, and until the start of the next turn, add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks made by friendly Ironjawz units while they're wholly within 18 of this unit.
So +1 to charge, +1 to hit,
and +1 attacks.
And +1 attacks.
Yeah. I would say he's going to be auto-include. For what we see right now, this dude's going to be in lists.
I have a feeling that there's going to be multiple additional things based on who you bring to your
that could be too, yeah. Maybe this guy, right, yeah. This guy gives you plus to hit. There might be another guy that gives you...
plus to wound?
Yeah, sure, maybe. But that ability is just straight fire, especially for on the turn where you're going to call the Wog. Real good. Let me think about this for a second. So, if you have a different hero that calls the Wog, other than this guy.
No, you're the general.
Oh, you declared a Wog ability.
You're the person. You declare the Wog, not the character.
Well, what I'm saying is, does this guy have a separate bubble of +1 to hit than the guy that declares the Wog? Like if they're on opposite sides of the board, and your other hero calls the Wog when he has some stuff around him to give him +1 to charge and +1 to attacks, and Gordrak's over here with a couple units by him, and they all get +1 to hit.
So you declare your Wog, and then you pick a friendly Ironjawz hero to be the target. And for the rest of the phase, or the rest of the turn, anything wholly within 18 of that gets +1 to charge and +1 to attack. Now this guy, when you declare a Wog, everything within 18 of him gets +1 to hit. So if you pick him to be the target, then it's everything within 18 of him gets +1 to all those stats. If you don't pick him to be the target, and he may be on the other side, he's going to give everybody within 18 of him +1 to hit, but the other guy gives...
Right, that's what I'm saying. That might be a smart way to go, because you're going to get couple different bonuses within 18-inch bubbles.
Yeah.
To affect more of the board, maybe. I mean,
That's-
maybe. Or you could just run everything around this dude and pick him to call the WA, and everybody gets all the shit.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Okay. And his last thing is at the end of the turn, any turn, he has strength from victory. And if any damage points were allocated to an enemy unit by this unit's combat attacks this turn, that enemy unit was destroyed, give this unit a WA token to a maximum of 3, and until the end of the next turn, add 1 to the attack characteristic of this unit's weapons for each WA token it has.
Okay.
So this dude could actually be +3 to attacks for all of his weapons. Doesn't say melee. That's the thing that's going to make this dude just rip things.
Yeah.
So you get a WA token for each enemy unit that was destroyed, basically, right?
Yeah.
Until the end of your next turn. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe you don't get up to a maximum of 3 all the time, but yeah, he's still got to be like, he has to damage the unit, and the unit has to die. And then basically the next turn, he'll have plus whatever attacks, right?
Well, if you did that, if you went first, and then you're going to get it on their turn.
Well, he still has to kill something.
Your whole turn.
Yeah.
Their whole.
Yeah. Well, it says till the start of. Add 1 to the attack characteristics of this.
Till the end of the next turn. I don't know if that means player turn or turn. Battle round.
End of the next turn. Yeah, it doesn't say your next turn. So it's just till the end of the next turn.
Yeah, so probably player turn. So
so you're just going to basically get a bonus for the next, whoever's turn it is, doesn't matter, but
right.
The very next turn you're going to get plus to the attack characteristics. Now, if it's like you said, if it's your turn and it's the turn you want to call the WA, this dude could be +1 to hit, +4 attacks if he's got the full bonus of this strength of victory plus the WA.
Yeah.
Jesus. 4 attacks, so he'd be doing 12 attacks for both of his melee weapons. That's big damage.
Solid.
Yeah. He is a War Master, so he's going to have to be your general if you bring him. He is unique, so you only bring in 1 of this dude. He is monster and fly. So, yeah, I think he's real good. I think this is the scroll out of this article that you're going to look back and go, that's dynamite.
Seems strong to me.
Okay, the War Chanter. This is a glow down, I think, maybe. 4-inch move, 6 health, 4 up save, control 2. He's got 6 attacks on 4s and 3s with his weapon for D3 damage. No extra abilities, no rend. He has an ability at the end of the turn, Rhythm and Destruction. If any enemy models were slain by this unit's combat attacks, give this unit D3 ritual points. Well, why would he care about ritual points? Oh, wait a minute, he's Priest 1. So no longer are you just handing out Violent Fury for free to give stuff extra damage.
Right.
You are a priest now, so your war beats are likely prayers, and it's not going to be on a 3-up. I don't think. So it's a little bit interesting. It's going to be a little bit harder to get off the war beats probably, unless of course you get in combat with this guy, which you don't want to do because you need him alive to do the war beats, and you're hitting things with no rend and D3 damage, so likelihood of you killing a model, maybe if you put them in the right things, like 1 wound models or something.
Right.
But then you're going to get D3 ritual points. So, I mean, there's a trade-off. Before, you never put this dude into combat. You know what I mean? Because he was so important to your damage output that you could never afford to even push him up the field. So, a little bit interesting. It's going to be a little bit different play style with him because you might have to run him up with like your screen or some brutes or something like that, and then hope that he kills a model to try to get some extra points, maybe.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And here's one of the war beats. So this is what he would be praying for. So he's got kill a beat here, and you pick a friendly Ironjaw's priest, which is the war chanter, and then an Ironjaw's unit within wholly within 12. You make your chanting roll, and the kill a beat will add 1 to the damage characteristic of the target's melee weapons for the rest of the turn. If the chanting roll was an 8+, you can pick up to 2 eligible units to be the target instead of 1. So kill a beat now does Violent Fury.
Yeah.
But it's on a 4. So on a 4-up, you give a unit something. But if you want to hold your points, like maybe you attack with this dude and maybe you get 3 ritual points on the D3 roll. And then you roll a 5. Then you can give it to 2 units. That feels a little bad, right? Seems like some really good rolling has to happen.
Well,
or it's going to take you multiple turns.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing damage, you add, and then you can also just take a turn and not add it to somebody, and then... I mean, I think before it was pretty strong. And he was basically just too good because he was auto-include. So now it's like... I mean, it's still important, but, I mean, there's less of a chance.
I mean, +1 damage is still fantastic.
I mean, it's the best.
They just make it harder for you to get now, so... Yeah. And we're about to see why. Alright, so going into the Brutes War Scroll, this is something that was brought up initially right off the bat when this article came out.
Okay.
That the Brutes seem really good. So they still have a 4-inch move, 3 health, but now they have a 3-up save.
Okay.
And they have 1 control. But here's where it gets spicy, boys.
Spicy boys.
The Brute weapons, 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, -1 rend, 2 damage base. Anti-infantry +1 rend. So before, the Brute's weapons were always 1 damage, so you always had to have the War Chanter giving them Violent Fury to be effective. Yep. Now they just have base 2 damage.
Seems good.
So it takes, like, they basically got Violent Fury added to them for free. You also don't, I'm sorry, if you bring a War Chanter and give them the Kill a Beat, now they'll be damage 3.
Rend 2.
Oh, yeah. Rend 2 into infantry, damage 3. These dudes are going to blow the shit out of stuff.
Yeah, I just think that they changed War Chanters, made them a little worse, and then gave everybody more damage.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe everyone's get a little bit more damage output on their base War Scrolls, which would actually be kind of nice for a Destruction army, right? You don't have to rely on, like, getting something off to happen to make them stronger. They're just strong.
Right.
So that's their base attacks. They do have a second weapon that 1 out of 5 brutes can take, but not the champion, and it's the Gore Choppa, which is basically the same profile, although it gets a little spicy because it's Ren 2 3 damage per already, which is pretty fantastic. You're gonna equip one of these on a guy anyway, just because you can. They have a passive ability at the end of the turn. You messin'? Question mark.
You messin'?
You messin'? So enemy models with health characteristics of 1 or 2 cannot contest objectives while they're in combat with this unit. It used to be health characteristics of 1, I think.
Let me look.
It might have been. I know it's 1 for sure. I don't know if it was 1 and 2. But this is fantastic.
Yeah, it used to be 1.
So they get a glow up in the amount of damage they can do base. They get a glow up in their ability.
The models are sweet.
Yeah, the models are still good. They're just raging death machines. I'm going to jot this down. Buy 20 brutes.
Purchase 20 brutes.
20 brutes, please, because I have 0. And now that I see this war scroll, I'm like, God dang it! I should have bought some brutes. All right, so leaving brutes and going into the Maul Grunter with Hackin' Crew, so we get to see one of our big pigs here.
They give us a lot of scrolls for this army.
Yeah, I mean, there's only like 3 that they left off the article, so. All right, so this has got a 10-inch move on a 12 health model on a 3-up save. So I think this is pretty good already. I can't remember what they were before, but
I'm going for it right now. I'm out.
3-up save seems lower than what it was before. I could be wrong.
4 before.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. So a little bit more survivable, which they needed because it seemed like when you got them into combat before, they just kind of were one shot. But with a 3-up save, hopefully that'll be better.
Well, they had 14 wounds before, though.
Oh, see, that's what they did. They just changed the math, but it's about the same then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they have control value of 5. Because they're a monster. But let's take a look at their attacks here. So melee, the Choppas are 4 attacks, 4s and 3s, run 1/2 damage. The kill Choppas, 4 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1 damage, or run 1/1 damage. The grunted Tusks, 5 attacks, 4s and 2s, run 2/2 damage. And the Trotters, 4 attacks, 5 to hit, 2 to wound, no rend, D3 damage. Doesn't seem overly impressive, but it is a lot of attacks.
Well, so before the Tusks
17
was 2
attacks.
flank instead of 5, so that's better. But it was 3s and 3s and 3 rend, and then damage based on your
momentum.
The Tramplers were 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, minus 1 D3 damage. Your Choppas were from your main guy was 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, rend 1, 2 damage. So not as good. And your Gouja, Choppa, and Axe, which is your Killa Choppas now, was 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, minus 1 and 2 damage. So
and they changed the math on a lot of stuff because they give you overall. I think they give you more attacks, but it's harder to hit now. So harder maybe it ends up being the same output. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I don't like the damage on these guys. You would have thought there'd be a little bit more from like big giant charging pigs, at least on the mounts, right? The little dudes on these dudes are whatever because they're basically art boys, but would have been cool to see a little bit more output damage wise on the actual pigs.
I guess the math I just did quickly, I'm thinking maybe 12 damage from this thing.
Well, let's see if any of these abilities help them out here. So they have a passive ability, the Unstoppable Momentum, in the combat phase.
Okay.
Each time this unit uses a charge ability, it gains 1 momentum point. Each time it uses a run ability, it gains 2 momentum points. It can have a maximum of 3.
Okay.
Add the number of momentum points to this unit. That has. Hold on. Focus eyeballs. All right. Add the number of momentum points this unit has to the damage characteristic of its maw grunted tusks. And then at the end of each battle round, subtract 1 from its momentum points down to a minimum of 0. Okay. So the tusks that are already Ren 2 damage could possibly be Ren 2 5 damage. I don't hate that.
You're taking 5 swings.
Yeah. I mean, you call the Wah. He gets +1 to hit, +1 to rend.
That'll bump him up to about 18 damage, I feel like. Yeah, and I mean, if you're doing the Y, you're way better. That wasn't counting for the Y. So.
Yeah, very good. That's going to be a very cool thing to do because now at the end of each battle round, you subtract 1 from those momentum, so you might be able to hold on to that momentum a little easier.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing before. You had to roll for the momentum. Now it's just like you charge, you get a point. You run, you get 2 points. Fine. Before it was like, if you do a thing, roll D3 momentum, right? So it's kind of weird.
If you finish a run or a charge move, roll D3.
Yeah.
You always had a never get over a 6. Now it's just easier.
Yeah, it's just easier. It's going to be easier to track. You know what you're getting out of it. You just taking the amount of momentum you got and adding it to the damage of your tusks. So fucking awesome. Yep. All right. So the other ability is once per turn in your movement phase, you can carve a path. If this unit is in combat, it can make a move, a distance equal to its move characteristic, or up to its move characteristic. It can pass through models and combat ranges of enemy units, but cannot end that move in combat.
Okay.
So it's like a free retreat, I guess. Right? Because it's got to be in combat, and then you make a move. But you do this in your movement phase. But it's not a retreat. Huh. All right, so then each enemy that this unit passed across during that move are the targets, and you roll a D3 for each target, and on a 2-up, you inflict mortal damage equal to the roll. Then this unit gains 2 momentum points. So you're always doing this.
Yeah, and it's your core move and your rampage. You're always doing it, and what it's setting you up for is so you can do a charge every turn.
Right. Yeah. So you're going to charge in. Whether you run or not is irrelevant because you probably won't run and charge unless you have an ability that says you can run and charge. But let's just say, for instance, you run on turn 1. Okay. Your opponent goes, maybe he's dumb enough to get into charge range, and then you counter charge. You got 3 momentum. You counter charged into something of his that he didn't expect. You're doing damage 5 on his tusks. So possibly you mutilate what's ever in front of you, or you cripple it. Then it's your turn. And in your turn, you do this carve a path. So you're still going to be at 3 momentum. So you move out of combat across models that do the mortals, and then you charge into something else.
Or them again.
This combination of stuff is going to be like fucking crazy.
It's going to be a little wild.
Because if all the pigs have this thing,
shit's just going to be bouncing around like fucking gummy bears.
Yeah. You're going to be like, oh, wait. I'm not in combat with you anymore. Now I am again. Thank you, sir. Have another mortal. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm here for this type of build. I love monsters, especially ones that actually function on the table. So
It'll be good to see these things actually function on the table.
yeah, you will see that 100p. So yeah, cool. Overall, pretty good for Iron Jaws. Even though they kind of lost Mighty Destroyers, but it's just going to work differently now. So I still think it's okay. The board-wide wall is gone, but really is it? I mean, 18-inch bubble from a 6-inch base dude. Still going to be pretty strong. Brutes, awesome. Big pigs have a lot of potential. So we'll see. The other notable thing, real quick, with Iron Jaws, apparently GW can't figure out how to do anything with the orcs other than tell you that Iron Jaws have some new war scrolls because they don't have a spearhead army.
Right.
Kind of weird. I don't know why they would have done that. They can't figure out what to put in it.
Spearhead has old, the fucking bad the what are the orcs? The old black orcs in it.
Yeah, but that was a start collecting box. It's not a Vanguard box.
Right, they haven't put out a new Vanguard box yet.
So I'm saying, like they couldn't figure out how to do it. Okay. Yeah, so whatever. I mean, they don't have a spearhead, so TBD on the rules for that, I guess. All right, so Iron Jaws, like I said, I like it, and we'll see how it actually plays once we get into it a little bit. So next article up, we're going to get into looking at the Tree Boys, everyone's favorite Sylvaneth. Actually, I don't know if it's everybody's favorite. I've been destroyed by this army quite a few times. It's always been kind of a tricky army to play because of their movement shenanigans and stuff. So let's start rolling on this while Josh takes a break here. All right, so Sylvaneth battle traits. We're looking at a couple things. So they got 2 end of phase abilities or end of turn abilities. Once per turn, they can do the Endless Growth. And you pick a number of friendly Sylvaneth units wholly within 6 inches of a friendly Awakened Wildwood, and you heal D3 to each target. Not bad. I mean, if you can put Wildwoods out and just spam healing after end of each turn, that's both your and your opponent's turn. That's fantastic. The other end of turn ability on any turn is Strike and Fade. You can pick a friendly Sylvaneth unit that is in combat and is wholly within 6 inches of a Wildwood to use the ability. So again, notable things in combat and wholly within 6 inches of a tree. So you gotta be a little strategic where you place your dudes. But the effect is you remove that unit from the battlefield, set it up again on the battlefield more than 9 inches away from enemy units, and wholly within 6 inches of a different friendly Awakened Wildwood. So both of those things really, really good. The healing is especially good, and the Strike and Fade is going to be a little bit more strategic than it was before, but you're still going to have it. The other battle trait is a movement phase ability. So once per turn in your movement phase, it's called Walk the Hidden Paths. You pick a friendly Sylvaneth unit that is not in combat, but is wholly within 6 inches of a Wildwood, and you remove that unit from the battlefield, set it up again on the battlefield 9 inches away from all enemy units, wholly within 6 inches of a different Wildwood. So You still get the move through the trees. You still get the strike and fade, and then you also get the D3 heal if you're within 6. So basically, you need to have a 6-inch bubble around all your Awakened Wildwoods, and then you get these effects.
Yep.
So I think these are fine.
French-tastic.
Oh, hell yeah, man. He's back. We must have done something cool in the last show because no one ever comes back to this shit show. JK, just kidding. He's here for the Sylvaneth. He heard me say it and he jumped online. He was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm in for the trees."
Love it.
All right. So the battle formation that we get to see here is Lords of the Clan. It's a passive ability healing song. So the effect is when using the Endless Growth ability, friendly Sylvaneth monsters heal 3 instead of D3.
That's real good.
Yeah, it's even better than D3, I hear. Straight 3 is pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, like, I just keep thinking of the list that Jeff ran all the time with all the Tree Lords.
Right.
When I think of this stuff and you go, man, so he's just going to stand next to Wildwoods, right? He's just going to heal because you just get it. You don't have to roll or nothing. So if you're running this healing song battle formation, all your big bros are going to heal 3 every turn, so 6 around. Yeah, man, it's just going to be like pretty crazy.
Yeah,
they got a lot of healing in this army that when we run through this. So
far, what they've shown us has been a lot of heals.
The spell that they have is from the Lore of the Deepwood, and it is called Tree Song, which casts on a 6. If there are fewer than 3 Awakened Wildwoods on the battlefield, you can set up an additional Awakened Wildwood wholly within 18 of the caster and more than 3 inches away from all enemy units, objectives, and other terrain features. If there are already 3 Wildwoods on the battlefield, heal 3 to each Wildwood.
That's above average.
Again, more healing. So, if you happen to let this person get Tree Song off and sprout the 3 different trees on the battlefield, and you try to kill a tree because now you've go, well, this is dumb. I don't want all these trees on here so they can just walk through them or strike and fade from them or whatever. You have to kill the tree, but you may not be able to kill the tree because this fucking spell's unlimited. This is nuts. So, Sylvaneth players will bring, 3 wizards now?
I mean, they used to. It depends on the build, but there was a lot of builds with heavy wizards. It's going to depend
That's what I'm
on
saying.
4 scroll spells.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's going to be kind of like the way that the Skaven Gnawholes work, right? So, regardless of the fact, you start with 1 Wildwood on the field, I bet.
Right.
You cast this spell with a wizard. You get your second one out.
Yep.
You cast it again with the second wizard. You get 3 out. So now 3 trees are out, so you can do your shenanigans with your movement and stuff.
Yep.
Then any other time, while these trees are alive, you're going to cast this spell anytime you need to heal those trees. And then if someone does happen to kill a tree, because they put a big attack into it or whatever, kill the tree, you just do the spell again anyway and get your tree back.
Yeah, the only thing I see, though, is you have to put that tree within 6 of a wizard.
18.
Oh, you're right. I was reading the wrong spell. The wrong thing. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, so, I mean, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to be able to kill all the trees, is basically what it comes down to.
Right.
So pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you almost don't want to, because the thing is they're going to end up just recasting a tree in maybe a better position.
Right.
So do you really want to mess with the trees? Maybe not, depending.
You may not. And what we don't know, I guess, it doesn't appear that you can make regular terrain pieces wildwoods now.
Right.
So I guess they're maybe a little bit more limited because they were able to cast like 3 trees out plus pick like 3 existing terrain features or something, right? Is what it was. So, still pretty cool though that you get a spell that's unlimited and then you can just continually do a couple of different effects with it.
Yeah.
All right, so unit focus. On to Lariel the Everqueen.
Okay.
All right, so centerpiece model better be fantastic, right, boys? All right, so she's got a 14-inch move, 16 health on a 3-up save with a 6-up ward and 5 control. So a little bit beefy. She has the Spear of Kurnoth as a ranged weapon with 1 shot, 2s and 3s, Rend 2, damage 4. She also can use the Spear of Kurnoth in melee combat for 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, Rend 2, 2 damage. And then the Bug's Antlers are 6 attacks, 4s and 2s, Rend 2, 4 damage. Some decent output damage-wise on her. She will lose 2 attacks off the Bug Antlers if she's damaged 10 or more. But other than that, I think it is a fine melee profile.
Yeah, I mean it's a little different than previous, but not that bad. It's a little bit like the spear is a little tougher in melee, but the antlers are a little bit bigger, but they do a little less damage. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Spear
I don't think she's going to be able to hold her own in a fight, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
All right, so she has got a few abilities here. In any hero phase, she has the ability Life Bloom. You pick one of the following effects. Add 1 to casting rolls for this unit for the rest of the turn, or heal 2d3 to this unit. Any hero phase. So, like we said, she's already got 16 health on a 3-up save and a 6-up ward. And on top of that, every single hero phase, she's going to heal 2d3.
And if she hasn't been damaged, then she's just getting bonus to cast.
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking the heal every time, right?
Yeah, sure. Like, right, unless it's turn 1 and you're trying to spellcast or whatever, but yeah.
Or, I mean, if you've already healed back up.
Yeah. It is notable that she is a Wizard 3, so the +1 to casting could be pretty impactful also with her.
Agreed.
Getting 3 spells. But that's fantastic. Her spell on her War Scroll is Metamorphosis, goes off on a 7. You pick an enemy unit within 12 inches of this to be the target. You inflict 2d3 mortal damage onto the target, and if the target is destroyed by this spell, you can immediately resolve the effect of the Tree Song spell as if the unit had successfully cast it. So 1 spell turns into 2 when you're already a Wizard 3. That is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I guess...
2d3 mortals could be minimal.
Yeah.
But how many times do you have somebody within 12 inches of you that, I don't know, maybe you charge Lariel into a monster and you left the monster on 1 or 2 wounds? And
then it's useful.
Yeah, I mean, you could use this and then you get a free effect from the Tree Song. So fine. Your movement phase, since summoning is gone, you're going to get a rally ability, which is the Rite of Life. And if you had a friendly Sylvaneth unit that was destroyed, you can pick it to be the target. Then on a 4-up, you get a replacement unit with the half the number rounding up, wholly within 9 of a friendly Awakened Wildwood, and more than 9 inches away from enemy units. If the target was a monster, allocate 8 damage points to it. The replacement unit. Ward rolls cannot be made for those damage points.
More importantly, I'm not certain how you missed it, but she could target herself if she was destroyed.
Did I not even read the sentence?
Yeah, you did. You just basically missed. You said pick a unit that's been destroyed, including herself.
Oh, yeah. I thought about that when I got to the end of this, and I went, "Where is the part where she can bring herself back to life?" Anyhow, she is a monster, so she can bring herself back with 8 damage points allocated to her, so half health, which you would always do if she died, because she likely is going to cost you 800 points or whatever she was before.
800 before.
800 points. So if this thing dies, you definitely want it to come back.
It's definitely nasty.
But man, I don't know. Like, how are you going to kill this thing if it heals 2d3 per hero phase on a 3-up save and a 6-up ward? You got to one-shot it, basically.
You could do it.
Pretty much. I mean, you could do it, sure. Yeah. Well, but
if you tried to get into it.
Yeah. But she can bring herself back. So she brings herself back and then heals 2d3 every hero phase. She can be right back up to full health in like a turn.
Right.
Or a round.
There's no other heals that we don't know about, which
Yeah.
I'm certain there are.
Well, if she's standing next to a Awakened Wildwood, she heals 3. And then she heals 2d3.
Yeah.
So she's 2d3 plus 3 every turn she's healing.
Yeah, I mean, French, I think it's an auto include if she's not 900 points or 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, but people that run Alariel now understand that she costs half the army cost almost, and you're taking whatever else. Like the guy I just played at High Ground.
Yep.
Had Alariel, right?
Yep.
I think a unit of... It was one unit of Kurnoth Hunters. A Foot Wizard. I can't remember. Arc Revenant or something, maybe.
Yep.
And there was like one other unit. It was basically like 10 models of the whole army.
However,
beat me.
She also brought a unit of Dryads with her, and she doesn't do that anymore.
Oh, yeah, but because the summoning's gone.
Right.
So she does have the option of bringing back a unit to life that's not her, if you want to.
And that's all baked into her point cost because she brought that unit for free, basically. Yeah. So, I mean, now she'll probably go down in points.
I'm wondering this, though. This doesn't say once per game in your movement phase. It's your movement phase, period. Roll a 4-up, get a unit back.
Yeah. You can only bring back each unit once?
I don't know. It doesn't even say that. I mean, maybe it's in the core rules or something, but it doesn't say in any of this paragraph that you can only bring back a unit one time. It might be interesting if there's a core rule that says something about that, replacement units. But either way, if she's not dead, you're attempting anyway to bring another unit back, right? Every single turn that's your movement phase.
Suddenly she becomes an auto include.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, run out and get your Alariel if you don't have one already.
I don't.
Also, she has one more ability that we didn't even talk about yet.
Oh.
So, once per turn in any charge phase, she has the living battering ram. You declare If this unit is charged this turn, you pick an enemy infantry unit within an inch to be the target. You roll a dice, and on a 3-up, you inflict the mortal wounds equal to the roll. So that's her rampage. If she gets charged, she does 2 or 3 mortals to that unit if they're infantry.
No. It's a D6 roll. It's 3 to 6 mortals.
Oh, shit. Totally read that wrong. I was thinking it was the same as everything else. Even better. Yeah, so she'll be 900 points for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see her coming down a whole lot with her being able to bring every unit back.
Yeah. Pick a friendly Sylvaneth unit that was destroyed to be a target.
Including units that were already brought back, it seems like.
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure that they got to have something that says replacement units can't be returned or something, right? I mean, at least that's how it was in all the other editions.
I don't know that it said that, or if it said that on the ability to bring back stuff.
Well, it said that on the ability, but maybe they baked it into some core rule, since there's a lot of armies now that just resurrect units that used to be able to summon before.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Alariel also is a War Master. She's unique and has the fly keyword. So, yeah, I would say if you own Alariel already, you're probably playing the shit out of her. And if you don't own her, you're probably going to go buy one.
I looked at her today and almost picked her up.
I mean, she seems really good. I mean, she's got a lot of cool abilities. Again, I mean, she might be priced out of some lists if you wanted to run something else, but I don't know. Yeah. I mean, she's pretty cool. All right, so we're going to get down to the Spirit of Durthu now. So, 5-inch move on this, 14 health on a 3-up save, and 5 control. Okay. He's got a ranged weapon that's 12 inches, got 5 attacks, 4s, 3s, rend 1, 2 damage. Okay. He has 2 melee weapons, one being a Guardian Sword. It's got 4 attacks, 3s and 2s, rend 2, damage 5. Yeah, I said it. It says damage 5. Anti-monster, +1 rend. Massive Impaling Talons, 2 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, 3 damage, crit mortal. I mean, only loses 1 attack when she's damaged from the Guardian Sword. This bro's gonna slap. This bro's gonna slap.
I mean, he always has. Yeah, French is talking about Alariel just to pick up the model, just to paint it. And I agree. She's a nice.
I mean, like, you could, or you could pick it up, paint it, and play it.
Now you can play it.
Yeah, I would say if you have an Alariel painted, it makes the table.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, this is a freaking just a beef stick. He's just crushing people.
Yeah, still, I think he had a damage 5 weapon before. I think the problem. Maybe let's run through his abilities first, and then we'll talk about them. All right, so once per turn in any combat phase, you get Titanic Duel, which is a rampage. You pick an enemy monster that's in combat with this to be the target. Roll a dice on a 3-up. Subtract 1 from the attack's characteristics of the target's melee weapons for the rest of the turn. It's good.
It's hot.
A passive ability, the Wrathful Guardian. Add 1 to hit rolls for this unit's combat attacks while they are within 3 inches of Awakened Wildwood. +1 to hit. Yeah, shit, man. The Guardian Sword is going to be 4 attacks, 2s and 2s. Rend 2, damage 5.
Yeah, it used to be damage 6, but it was only 3 attacks.
Yeah, so you're getting an extra attack. You're losing 1 damage, but again, you're going to be on 2s and 2s.
And you're wounded on 2 instead of 3s, so it's better wound 2.
Yeah. I think the only thing I think with this, and correct me if you know if I'm wrong or not, is you used to send Durthu through a tree, You used to get whatever that spell off on them that did like +3 to charge, right?
Sure.
And then your 9-inch charge turned into a 6-inch charge. You charged in. It was your one and only attack because this is the only dude you did anything with. You smashed the shit out of something for like 20 or 25 damage. And then you faded away, right? And you just kind of like rinse and repeat that. Durthu would just go out and headhunt motherfuckers, right?
He would kill people like Raid.
Yeah. Problem is now, you can't strike and fade if you're outside of combat. You have to be in combat.
But also strike and fade. You're not doing it to get out of combat before you get hit.
Well, yeah, it's at the end of the turn, so you have to suffer the incoming damage, the slapback, if you don't kill something. But you almost don't want to kill something, right? Because if you go through a tree, you make a charge or whatever you're doing with this guy, you're eliminating the target. Then you can't strike and fade. Now you're stuck out in the middle of the board hanging out because you're not in combat with anything to strike and fade against.
Well, I mean, I guess theoretically you're just stuck there, but you can use the tree the next turn, right? To go through again.
Sure, if you live. But you also still got to be wholly within 6 of the tree, too. I mean, like, if it's your turn, and you charged Durthu into something and killed it,
yeah,
you're there. And if they charge you, you know what I mean? Like they have the ability then to charge you. Yeah.
They could charge you with whatever they want instead of putting you back in the reset position all the way in the back.
Yeah. Now, if they don't kill you, I guess then you can strike and fade. Although you better hope you don't kill them, I guess, too. So, I don't know. It's like a double-edged sword with Durthu now. Or before, you could just strategically, like, shoot them out anywhere and kill something, then bring them back to the back, and then rinse and repeat. Yeah. It's not as reliable this time. But he's still gonna slap the shit out of whatever he touches. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's one of the tougher monsters. And he's gonna
Yeah. He for sure. He's gonna do damage output guaranteed.
It's basically immortal against monsters. Valeria will get the 6/6, which means she saves nothing against Durthu.
Well, you know what though? I guess if Durthu does die, Valeria can just bring him back.
Also true.
Bring him back, suffer 8 damage to him, stick him next to a wildwood, and then just heal for a whole turn, rinse and repeat. I didn't even think about that till right now. Okay, cool. All right, Sprite Revenants. 5-inch move. 2 health, 1 control on a 5-up save. See, they got 3 attacks per, 3s and 4s, no rend, 1 damage, but have crit mortal.
Yeah.
And their ability in any combat phase is unbridled malice. So you pick an enemy infantry unit that's in combat with this to be the target. On a 3-up, the target cannot use commands the rest of the turn. Turning off commands seems to be pretty strong usually.
Yeah. You're only bringing 5 bros. They get a champ, so you're getting 16 swings. I mean, they're just not doing a ton of damage, but...
Are Sprite Revenants the ones that used to be able to teleport wherever they wanted to?
No.
Or is that a different unit?
Tree Revenants.
Sprite
Revenants are the ones that hang out with Drycha. They're like the evil ones. Okay. They used to be able to... they used to be able to go through trees twice a turn, but their army ability, you could go twice. One of them had to be a unit of Sprite Revenants.
Gotcha. All right.
And then they went down in points, and they started getting some play at the end of third, just because they went down in points so much because nobody used them.
Right. So if these guys stay low points, they probably fit in some list just to turn off commands, right?
Yeah.
Like it'd be smart to charge these guys into a unit, 3 up, no commands, and then charge in something else to that same unit to destroy it.
What
And
command are you gonna?
Well, like you're going to turn off all out defense. You're going to turn off
All out attack.
all out attack. You're going to turn off.
That's it.
Yeah, maybe. Unless there's some other army command that they could give that's specific for the army or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not as impactful as I'm thinking initially because it has to be an infantry unit. So it's a small
And
hero or a foot troops dude or something.
all out defense is the only way that I can think of right now off the top of my head to get +1 to your save. So
Yeah. Well, that's going to be big, right? You're going to have to do that on a unit that you want to try to survive. So, I don't know. Maybe these guys are all right. I mean, they clearly have one role, and that's to turn off commands.
unless they have an army battle formation that's based on them that gives them some more bonuses, or bringing them with Drycha, giving them some bonuses or something. Otherwise, they're just their job is to shut commands down.
Yep.
They're like a shock troop.
All right. Well, moving on to the Sprite Rider Lancers. These are the new bug riders from a little while ago. They have a 12-inch move, 5 health, 2 control, and a 4-up save. They have the Lances, which are 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, rend 1 damage, but they have charge +1 damage and anti-cavalry +1 rend. Kind of interesting to have both. The sharp mandibles on the mounts are 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, rend 1 damage, but also +1 damage on the charge.
So the damage is a glow up for them with the charges. The anti-cavalry basically puts them back in line with what they used to be.
Well, let's see if their abilities make them any better. I mean, they're still okay for like if they get a charge off against cavalry, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
They have a passive ability, Forest Fighters, and they have okay. So this is just fixes the coherency range because they have those wide ass wings. So they have a 2-inch coherency on these guys. At the end of any turn, they can use Thrumming with Life, and they heal 3. This is going to be a common thing in this fucking army where they're just constantly healing every single turn with stuff. And these guys... Now let me ask you this. This would stack with the other healing, correct? If they're next to an Awakened Wildwood, they get to heal D3 and 3.
Yeah, but I mean, they only have 5 wounds, so...
Yeah, I mean, sure, but... I mean, I don't know. If they get into combat with something dangerous, they're dead. But if they're like... If they charge a cavalry unit, they're better. And it negates the charge abilities and stuff from other cavalry, so maybe the cavalry doesn't kill them.
Right.
Then they just heal 3 every turn. Pretty good. The last ability they have is a combat phase ability is Descent of the Spite Riders. Sounds cool. If this unit charged this turn, roll a dice on a 3-up. This unit has strike first for the rest of the turn. Okay. If there's ever been a unit that says this unit has to fucking charge, this is it.
Yeah.
They get charge bonuses on both their weapons. They get anti-cavalry, so you want to run down something that wants to charge. And they get strike first on a 3-up if they charged.
Yeah, I mean, they had strike first before. But I think that they're better now on the charge.
Yeah, it seems good. It seems like they're gonna charge everything that they. Well, I guess they're only good on the charge. Would be my take, right? If they get charged, they're just gonna fucking die, and they can't fight back because there'll only be damage 1.
They have a 4-up save. I mean, they're not terrible if they get charged.
15 wounds on a 4-up save. I know what that sounds like. Sounds like a dead Terrorgeist to me. I mean, I guess they have a champion, a musician, and a standard bearer, so they get those bonuses, which doesn't mean a whole lot. I guess they get +2 to their control score or something overall. And
+1 with the standard bearer. I don't remember what the musician does.
Yeah.
Rally, they get a better rally or something.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's only a unit of 3, so maybe you're not using rally on them anyway. But who knows? But they're okay. I would say that they're good on the charge. Dead if they get charged. And they can heal, I guess. So there's that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this was the other thing that I wanted to touch on real quick. So, in the Spearhead box comes with a Tree Lord, Kurnoth Bow Hunters, Spite Revenants, and Branch Witch.
Yep.
Not a lot going on here, but
those are Tree Revenants, not Spite Revenants.
Oh, whatever. The thing I wanted to touch on was the Kurnoth Hunters. So, before there was 3 different ways to build them. One with bows, swords, and scythes.
Yep.
But we do get to see the Kurnoth Hunters War Scroll for Spearhead, and it's just the bow guys. So are Kurnoth Hunters the only elite unit that's going to have multiple War Scrolls?
No. I mean, they've always had multiple War Scrolls.
I know, but with how that they were combining all the weapons into like one kind of smashed together profile, these guys have the bows. But they're Kurnoth Hunters. It doesn't say Kurnoth Hunters with bows. Do Kurnoth Hunters with swords and scythes exist? I would think so. But do swords and scythes get combined? And then you have a shooting Kurnoth Hunter, and then you have a melee Kurnoth Hunter?
I doubt it. I doubt they get combined. But we'll see. I mean, it's going to be about they don't have a ton of War Scrolls. So if they get rid of they cut that down 1 War Scroll, why?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying. It's just interesting thought is all.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get it. I think they'll be the same, but maybe not. Maybe they're like, they do the same job.
The heck?
I don't know.
Oh, here we go. All right. Let's try something here. Let's try to try not to get a chubby when you're talking about the Khorne boys.
Oh, okay. So they saved the best for last. Literally, like I was like, oh man, they're gonna nerf the shit out of this. They just don't want people pissed, so they're gonna put it last. But they didn't.
It's a Khorne, boys and girls.
And I was like, what do I play this next edition? Do I play fucking Cities? Do I play STD? Nope. I continue to play Khorne.
It's so fantastic. I'm gonna hate my life.
So let's talk blood. Let's talk blood tithe. Let's talk battle traits. You start the battle with 0 blood tithe. Earn 1 every time you destroy a unit, friendly or enemy. Same as before. Reaction. Opponent declares a spell. You could spend 2 of those blood tithe and unbound that spell. You can only do that if you've not used another blood tithe ability this turn. any movement phase, you could declare to use this ability if you've not used any. You can spend 8 blood tithe. Pick one of the following effects. Add 1 to the attack's characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly blades of Khorne for the rest of the battle.
Good one.
Or, but it's 8.
Huh?
Or pick a friendly non-unique bloodthirster that's been destroyed and bring that bitch back. Bring them back. And it's identical. So if there are...
Oh, it doesn't even suffer any damage when you bring it back?
No, you bring it back. Full strength.
Wow.
And if you have given it an enhancement, provided you can, you bring that bitch back with the enhancement because it's identical. Write that down. All right. Now the most important moment you've all been waiting for, the movement phase. You can spend 1 blood tithe point and move a target unit 3 inches, which can move it into combat. It doesn't get the D6 inch move anymore. But you can do it. You could do it. Now you can only do it once. Before you could do it up to 3 times. But it's fucking sweet. So we're still going to have Murder Lust. Brass Skull Meteor, another favorite from before. You will spend 4 to roll 8 dice, and on a 3-up, give 1 mortal damage to the target. I think it used to be on a 4-up. So we got a little love there. We got a little love on Wizard Hunting.
Fantastic.
I love that. Yep. Let's say you have 6 wounds. I'm going to fucking do this on as fast as possible and murder your wizard. And you're going to do jack shit about it. And then heads must roll with 6 blood tithe points. For the rest of the turn, you're going to add 1 to the rend characteristic of weapons. I don't see myself ever doing that, but maybe. Because I'm going to save my 8 points, bring back my blood boys. And I'm going to fucking cancel your spells. And I'm going to fucking murder lust. And every once in a while, I'm going to...
Let's slow down here, Chuckles, because I don't think you're going to have as many blood tithe points as you think you're going to have. The only way to earn them now is to kill things. Before
Why do you say that?
It's what it says. You start the battle with 0 blood tithe points. Earn 1 blood tithe point each time a unit, friendly or enemy, is destroyed.
Yeah.
You don't get a blood tithe point for killing a hero, like an extra one. You don't... Shut up, Frenchie. I'm trying to knock him down a peg here. You don't get any blood tithe points for denying spells. Right?
You
what were the... well okay. I'm just saying is what it says.
So before you got one for killing a hero when you... with an army ability. And you may get denying spells one if you bring the fucking train piece. You don't know.
Whatever,
you
bro.
Don't know.
Whatever, bro. I hope you're stuck on like 3 blood tithe points the whole game.
Also, I guarantee they're gonna still give you a prayer that lets you do damage to yourself to get blood tithe. All right, so let's look at this. Battle formation. Butchers of Nations.
He's so excited he don't even want to hear me speak.
You have nothing to say. Butcher of Nations. Once per turn, army reaction, you declare a fight ability with a Blades of Khorne demon unit. The unit using that fight ability, you pick a bloodbound unit that's not used to fight ability this turn that's within 12 of this unit. Target can be picked to use a fight ability immediately after. So you're going to do the elf thing where you're going to take a unit, fight with it, pick another unit within 12, not wholly within, just within, and you're going to fight with that unit too. Seems fucking strong. You know what that's going to work real good with? Bloodthirsters.
Yeah.
They're just all going to fucking fight twice or fight back to back. All right, keep on moving. There's more. Now we're on to prayers.
Okay, prayers. Let's hear it.
We're going to summon our Hexgorger skulls. We're not going to know what they do because it doesn't tell us.
But you can summon them.
Our Hexgorger skulls on a 4, and that's it. That's all we know.
Cool.
It's kind of dumb that they didn't say anything else, but it just says that Hex Scourgers violently nullify casting attempts by enemy wizards.
So they're
And
going
that's
to
all
do damage to you like they did before when you cast stuff, right?
Yeah, and also they're probably going to give blood type points. All right, Bloodthirster. Let's talk the Incendiate Rage. It's the one that I used to use when I played the First Prince, Legion of the First Prince. I never really used him with my straight Khorne army. He was kind of one that I would summon maybe on occasion. So this gentleman moves 12, has 16 health, 4 up save, and 5 control. Most notably, a 5 up ward save. He went from no ward to the big 5-0. I love that.
That's going to be good for the Bloodthirsters.
That's going to be real good. So this bro is going to swing 5 times, hitting on 3s, wounded on 2s with 2 rend and 5 damage. And he has that anti-infantry rend 1. So he's doing 25 damage every turn, all day, every day. You're not going to do anything about it. He's killing everything that he looks at. He will bump that down if he happens to take 10 damage to 3 attacks. That's kind of a big nerf or a big cut there. So he also has outrageous carnage because he's outrageous. Every time he makes an attack that scores a critical hit, he'll also do D3 mortals to each enemy unit within 8 after the fight ability is resolved. Yeah. He's just going to crush souls. And then his rampage is a charging rampage. If he charges and he's within 1 on a roll of D3, he's going to do mortals on a 2-up equal to the roll. If the target's infantry, let's just tack on 3 additional mortals.
Additional? Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So they could take fucking 6?
5. 6. No, you're right. 5 or 6. Yeah. Mortals on the charge. Plus he's anti-infantry, rend 3 against infantry. And he's doing 25 damage because he's going to hit with everything and wound with everything because he's a fucking Khorne. Bloodthirster. Incendiate Rage.
All right. Yeah, it seems real good. And this isn't even the Boomthirster, so...
No, it is the Boomthirster.
Oh, this guy's the Boomthirster? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Boomthirster. It's not the one that... The Wrath of Khorne one is the one that used to make it so you could attack with another guy afterwards. It's the one that I never really played with, but maybe somebody else did. And then the other one, other than that, is the one that you always made into a priest and gave the weapon that gave no armor saves. So this is the Boomthirster. We'll see though if you get the no armor save ability again. That doesn't seem necessary if everything's going to be rend 3. Let's move on to Bloodletters. They got a huge glow up this edition. They are... Hold, please. They are 5 move, 2 health, 5 up save, and 1 control. Hellblades 2 swings, 3s and 3s, rend 1, damage 1, and they will crit mortal. So they're going to decapitate still. The big thing they got though is if this unit's in combat at the end of the turn, you can return D3 slain models to this unit.
End of any turn. Just get it. No rolls, just bring dudes back.
I'm gonna bring a reinforced unit of 20. I'm gonna roll up into you. I'm gonna fucking decapitate you, and then if you kill 1 or 2 of my bros, I'm just bringing bros back. Every
5 up
turn.
save and a 6 up ward. Yeah. Cool.
They win.
Guess you'll need to paint 20 of those.
I've got them started. Yeah, you should start painting Khorne because it's number 1.
I don't know. I mean, they're pretty good, but
pretty good. It's freaking chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Karanak. He's got an 8-inch move, 7 health, 5 up save, and 2 control.
Sucks.
6. Yeah, he's terrible. 6 swings, 4s and 3s, rend 1, 2 damage, and he's also anti-hero rend 1. In the deployment phase, he can pick a hero, and that's his prey. And you can also choose a hero that's in reserve. And I have no idea what that does, but we'll probably figure this out in just 1 second. During the charge phase, he's first to the pack. While it's wholly within 12 of any fresh Fleshhound units, he adds 2 to charge rolls for this unit. In addition, while any Fleshhound units are wholly within 12, then they can ignore the effective beast. So they're going to get to use their full control score.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Sure.
And then Stalk the Prey. If this unit's quarry moved in this phase, that's used in the enemy hero phase, this unit can move 8 inches. It cannot move into combat during any part of the move, and must end that move closer to its quarry.
You just get a free move in the enemy hero phase, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you're going to want to pick something that's going to move. You're not going to pick a Slan that's going to just sit in the back. I don't hate that. It's a fun ability.
I mean, if this guy isn't too many points, it might be worth bringing one just to hawk down a hero or something like that or whatever, right?
Yeah, and also he buffs your dogs, and I bring a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
So
pretty cool. He is unique, so you're only going to bring one at most anyways.
Yeah, I mean, he's a named guy. Yeah. And I mean, he does have that 6-up ward, just like the rest of the demons. They've given the demons ward saves back, and it is literally the greatest thing on the planet. Let's move on to something that I would never use, but here they are. They're the mortals. So the Blood Warriors are 5-inch move, 2 health, 3-up save, control 1. They're going to have 1 out of 10 models can be given the Gore Glaive. It cannot be the champion. And the regular Gore axes are going to be 3 swings, 4s and 3s, 1 rend and 1 damage. The Gore Glaive is going to be slightly better with a 2 rend and 2 damage. So these guys are all right. They're going to probably be your basic infantry. They also have murder rolls. Each time a guy dies, you roll 2 dice, and for each 5-up, you inflict a mortal.
Yeah, but they get to roll 2 dice.
2 murder rolls.
Better than the 1 dice from the
Dark Oath.
Yeah, the Dark Oath guys.
I have a bunch of these models. I've never even built them. They just
2 health on 3-up saves isn't shabby.
Yeah, they're not bad. I wouldn't say these are bad. I just have never really played Mortals, so I've never really messed with them, but maybe I'll build them. The models look cool.
Yeah. I mean, they got full-on fucking Blades of Khorne armor on. Murder rolls could be good if you ran a big brick of these dudes and like enough died to where you get enough rolls to get 5-ups. But I think that's just a perk. I don't think that's necessarily like, I got to bring Blood Warriors so I can #murder roll people.
Well, no, but like French just said, you bring them for your blood tide because you can run them out there and get them killed.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but in that regard, wouldn't you just bring more packs of dogs?
I don't know. That's what I like to bring. It's all about points. I bring a lot of dogs because dogs die, and then I'm like, cool.
Right.
Points.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for Khorne. They're still fantastic. Although, it looks like their spearhead box is a little lacking.
Well, you got these little dudes over here that are, I think, the actual ones that you bring.
Like the less armored dudes.
Yeah, like the Marauder type guys.
Yeah.
And then you have the dudes we just talked about down here.
Yeah, you get your favorite unit, the Skull Crushers. And then just the one fucking half naked hero guy.
Yeah. We did not see a priest, but we will hopefully within a week. I'm guessing within a week we start to see the release of the models. Somebody's going to be sneaking that shit out.
Well, I mean, to that point, Where did it say? Did it say in this one? Faction packs will be available to download free before Skaven Tide is released, and the digital battle tomes for Stormcast, Beasts of Chaos, Bone Splitters very soon after. So there you go. So sometime before the release date of the 13th, we're gonna get the downloadable faction packs. Hopefully the faction packs have the fucking points in them, because if not, then it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, you're a poor Beast of Chaos player, French. Our buddy Tim is.
Yeah, he. What did he say to you the other day? He was gonna full send on Beast of Chaos until they are no longer.
I think he's talking about it. That might be his plan. Which I can't blame him. You know, whatever. Play with your toys.
Yeah, I mean, I am pretty happy that. Okay, another Slaves player. Okay, cool.
They're hot. You just missed. I mean, I think you missed our rundown of them, but I was equally excited about them as I am.
You were. I mean, like, I'm glad that we're through the faction focus articles now, so we don't have to keep doing this kind of like same show over and over. It seemed like we were doing that, like just reading rules for a long time. We do like to. We do have an idea that you brought up about a couple future shows that we'll probably do. I mean, now that we'll have the downloadable PDFs or whatever of all the armies, I think what we can do, like you said, is just go ahead and do a review per Grand Alliance. We can pick out things that we like from all the armies and just kind of talk about them rather than like, okay, let's go through this army book, and these are the stats for this unit, and these are the stats for that unit. You know,
yeah,
like
somebody else is going to do that.
Yeah,
and we don't. It'll take us 24 weeks to get through all of that.
Yeah, so we're not gonna do any of that. We're not gonna bore you guys with some more like rules reading and shit like that. I'm sure Rob will have fucking extensive coverage on all of that shit, put out in multiple videos for every army. We don't have the kind of time he does, and quite frankly, I don't want to do all that.
No.
I'd rather stick to what our show focus is about, competitive play in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, so we're going to try to figure out the meta based on what we see, at least from each Grand Alliance. Maybe bring in some of our friends that are slightly better than we are, and talk to them about what we think what we think is going to be the meta from each Grand Alliance as far as that goes. Maybe the top type of lists from each one, and maybe something that if there's something that comes up that's like ridiculous, like you're going to see this in every list, we'll talk about some War Scrolls, but more so, I think we just want to talk lists and what we're expecting to see. So
yeah, and I mean, we're going to be a little bit more excited for the actual armies that we do play. I'm sure once we get to see everything that is in the army. I mean, this is including like the spell lores and the other battle formations.
Enhancement.
Do we know? I mean, like, do we really know if they showed us all of the battle traits for the armies? I don't know. I mean, it could be like they left some stuff out because that the articles, as a whole, are bits and pieces of bits and pieces, right? So why would you assume that all of the battle traits are listed for every army? I don't know. I maybe it is, but it certainly could be just a piece of it, right? So, yeah, it'll be real interesting. I'm sure we'll go through individually and look at a bunch of shit once those PDFs come out. But again, we'll do some shows on what we think is the best out of all those, and doing shows based on a Grand Alliance at a time. And then after that, I think we got probably some shows based off of like if there's tournaments. We'll probably have some interviews with some players that played in certain tournaments. At least that's the hope going forward, is to talk about competitive play with some other competitive players. So, I mean, if that's what you're into, hopefully you guys are hanging out and watching the show for that. And like I said, next week's show won't be on Sunday, so we'll have to push it back a couple days probably. Just because I'm going to be out of town up north, and Josh works, so our timing's not going to be there for that.
That's all right, though.
But we'll figure it out. Yeah.
And another show idea that I really want to do, I see we have, we had 4 viewers, now we have 3, but I really want to do a fix my list or a pimp my list kind of a show. I got a buddy who does that for 40K. And I think it's kind of fun. We'll go over, if people send us lists in our Discord or whatever, we could go over the list and talk about what we would do to change it, maybe make it a little tougher or a little more meta once that gets set. So that probably won't be an early show. A couple weeks, or maybe a month.
It'll be a few weeks in, because I think it'll be like anything that's new, it's going to take people a little while to come up with a list that they like. But I mean, like French, if you're still out there and you want to send us a list when you build one, we'll tell you how shitty it is, I guess.
Yeah, what he said, or how great it is, especially.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I guess if it's a Slaves to Darkness list, I guess Josh will be like, "Yeah, it's the best thing," and I'll say, "I don't know about that."
Yeah. Give us a list. I know I'll make Ethan send me one, and if Logan ends up playing, maybe we'll try to get Adam to give us a list for a show.
Yeah.
So
I guess. Sorry to cut you off. I guess if French, if you do want to send us a list in at some point, you just got to join the Discord.
You're all about subtlety? Okay. I mean, that's fine.
The link for the Discord's in there, so in the About section of the Twitch feed here. So if you join up, it'll be easy for you to we'll make a.
You already did. See, French is a card-carrying member.
Hold please.
You checking him?
Because no, well, yes and no, but clearly his Discord name is not French-tastic. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Well, I don't know either.
What I got to make a note of that. What is your Discord handle there, French?
He says it is.
Get out of here. Oh, it certainly is. I don't. Hey, whatever. Hey, look. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say I don't manage or do anything in the Discord. I don't own it. I don't give people the roles.
You do all those things.
What do you want from me? It is 3 a.m. I should have been into bed 4 hours ago. So, cut me some fucking slack here. All right, cool. So, hey, look, I just looked it up. French-tastic is actually in the Discord.
I love that.
That's perfect. It's confirmed.
There's 4 people in the show viewing. Hopefully, you guys also will join our Discord and check out what we got going on. We try to do this every week. And like Jake was saying, competitive Warhammer is what we're kind of into. We're working on our own GT. We're going to try to probably run some RTTs monthly, and we just like to play in tournaments because it's just a good way to get guys together and get games in. Really, like,
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fun, and we love every aspect of it. Actually,
yeah. I mean, we play a lot of Warhammer as it is. Once 4.0 comes along, any given night, I'm going to be at Jake's house. If we're not doing this show, I'll probably be over there playing
you know what? Let me extend this heartfelt invite out to French Tastic, since I completely fucked up that he was actually in the Discord. French, anytime you're in the United States and you're in the state of Michigan, we'll get a game in.
Yeah,
it's pretty fair, right? It's a fair offer. I mean, he's in the Discord. He'll be able to tell us when he's in the States, right?
Right.
So, yeah. We don't offer that kind of invite just to any old scrub across the pond, as they say. But if French happens to like muddle through our shit show on YouTube here, Twitch, then we ought to extend the common courtesy of playing him in a game of Warhammer if he's ever over here.
Yeah, sounds
just
good.
Saying. See what I did there?
I did. I like that.
All right, it's super late. I'm super tired. I'm gonna go to bed, and Josh is gonna spend the rest of the night building models.
Yep.
But until next week, when we, oh wow, I don't know. We'll come up with a show next week if we don't have the faction or the army PDFs out yet. Maybe we'll just do some kind of fun show.
Yeah, we got some ideas.
Yeah, but until next week, I'm out of here. We're out of here. It was the Old Man Gaming Hour. You love it, and you stuck around for God knows why.